Peru in a BO3 to find out who will advance forward here.
It is very, very competitive, especially if we're talking about America's B indeed. But yeah, 12 countries are still battling it out here in the American qualifiers for IESF. And it has been a treat, honestly, Kimberly. A lot of good matches. Unfortunately, a lot of losses as well from, like, say, Argentina. Unfortunately, they weren't able to
Hmm.
find their groove. They lost back to back, and at least on the first day, and Bolivia again just keeps on
Yeah.
surprising me. They managed to defeat one of the favorites yesterday, Brazil.
I love some upsets. I love some upsets every single time. I mean, I really love myself like a good underdog story every time.
Yeah.
Tournaments like this come up. It's a very good storyline to unfold, especially for these players who are trying to build their name or maybe trying to look to get into, maybe even a grander stage of MLBB. Let's take a look at the schedule here today. Like what we said, Bolivia versus Peru for our first match, and then we're gonna be closing it off later on today with Ecuador versus Dominican Republic in another BO3. So don't miss out. If you guys are supporting any of these teams, if you want to watch the American qualifiers meta, so be sure to stay tuned here in the World IESF American qualifiers. There's going to be a whole lot more action. And I'm actually curious to see how these players have adapted so far because, apart from the new hero. I'm not so sure if you can actually play it already here in the qualifiers, but there's a whole lot of changes that really can impact like the overall gameplay of these teams. So let's see if they have been keeping up. And like what you said, Bolivia is looking really strong so far and have defeated some of the fan favorites here in the American qualifiers.
Definitely another, just so it's so refreshing sometimes, Kimberly, as well, seeing the heroes, seeing the picks. And you mentioned it, right? The best of three. Technically, we have seen a couple of reverse sweeps as well here, so winning game one is not a guarantee if you don't keep
Oh yeah.
the locked in state, right, in game two and possibly game three. So yeah, again, it's going to be very, very crucial though. It's going to have the game one, right? I'm saying game one.
Yeah.
If you got game one, can't really get too comfortable, especially against, I think they are all on the same tier, right? So it really could go either way.
Yeah. I think apart from that, Gani, we have to talk about this because I know both of us play almost the same role. The
Yeah.
roamer seems to be the heart of the gameplay, especially in this recent patch. The vision making, it
Yeah.
gives you extra gold. So I think overall it's so good for role players like us. It's an underrated kind of a role that usually most players actually want to take more of the high damage, more of jungling or even the gold lane. But now it's spotlight on all of the roamers. How is it looking like so far for your rank games, Donnie? How is it looking like for us roamers, and how do you think it will impact all of the players that will be playing here today?
That's a very great question. And I feel like in this current patch, Romer has that early game influence, right? And now you can see why the Khalid surface a lot more, because when you get that EXP, extra EXP, what you can get level 2. If you spot out 3 enemies, you can get level 2 in under 1 minute, and that allows the Khalid, say, just to be more extra invasive, extra support damage as well. And be that annoying roamer. You can provide the ganks for your team. And again, the roamer position, you mentioned how it is underrated. I feel like, yeah, underrated and underappreciated. And it feels like in
Mm-hmm.
this match, it allows the roamers to, again, just shine. You can get level 2, and then the rotation is just so fast. And I personally feel like in this current patch, once you have that early snowball, um,
Oh yeah.
it's hard to stop, unless your team blunders. So yeah, if you keep it clean, if you keep it tidy, you get that early. It just discipline, right? Managing your waves, picking fights as well, and yeah, surely sooner or later, that win will be yours. It's quite inevitable this time in this current patch, which I love. I love a good snowball patch. Kind of boring maybe, but hey, it shows that if you're
It's
good
time
at
for the roamers
early,
to shine.
it's definitely time for the rumors to shine. What about you? How
Yeah.
are your ranked games?
I think it's been really good. Like I'm surprised with how much gold that you accumulate all throughout. Like just by giving vision to your team. Like it's six. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's a lot at first, right? Like but when you
Yep.
actually accumulate it, like there are times that our team gets a snowball. And what we do is like I'd check my gold and I'd be like, wow, I even have more gold than what the EXP laner or the jungler
Yeah.
at times. I'm like
Yeah.
third because in the
True.
previous patch, the roamers would usually end up to be the last because we get the least gold. At times, we're the ones who die most often, right? Like tanking up
Mm-hmm.
the damage depends on what you use. And I'm actually curious also to see like the Khalid has been surfacing back up into the patch all because of like how aggressive it can be in the early, right? Like you
Yep.
give vision, you have the sustain, so overall it's really such a good pick. And I love how it kind of shakes up the way we kind of draft as well. Like I know previously when we casted for another qualifiers for World Esports Iesf, it's all about like the exp laners, but now it's all about the roamers. So I'm really excited to see like how this will shake things up, especially for the last two BO3s that we're gonna be having for today. But again, BO3 Bolivia versus Peru. Bolivia has been showcasing such brilliance here in this American qualifiers, and hopefully let's see them live it up here in once again the final best out of three here for the group stage. And they're going to be going up against Peru. Can they do the same thing that they did up against Argentina and cause maybe an upset, and maybe you know MLBB players all around the world take a look at Bolivia, look at how well we're doing it, and hopefully we'll get to see them in future tournaments or even a bigger stage.
Hopefully so, Kimberly Maz, and yeah, let's see, I again, on paper, I feel like Bolivia has an advantage just solely because they beat Argentina and Brazil in the past few days. So definitely momentum is on their side. Let's say though, Peru can definitely pull an upset here if they're able to read out on the rotations and the drafts coming from the side of Bolivia. And by the way, Kimberly Mas, we saw a couple of unique picks yesterday coming up. So, brace yourselves. You might see a peculiar
Mm.
pick or even picks
What's
today.
the most interesting one you've seen? Like, man, I
So
haven't seen this
far,
like let's say in our region. What's the most interesting one for
oh,
you?
in Southeast Asia.
Yeah, in Southeast no, sorry, in the matches that you've seen so far
Oh,
here in the
I
American qualifiers.
mean,
What's
Mincetar Gold,
Khalid?
Mincetar Gold, yeah, and they won.
That wow. Okay, I've actually seen that people pull off a Mincitar gold, but that was like patches ago, right? I'm wondering
Right,
how it will
right,
fare here.
yeah.
It seems like it's a thing, like putting the fighters in the. We're going back to like way back, like patches ago, like centuries ago, where you funnel everything to like a marksman jungler, which is usually the Yisun Shin or the YSS, and then you get somebody to sustain on the sides. I've seen shades of this also here in our region. So CC has been going back up in the gold lane. So I'm not so sure if that will be something that Peru or Bolivia will pull off. But let's take a look at the roster here of Peru. By the way, it's Fanboy, Lionel Rushi, Super. Do I read it as J10? Super J10, not Ben 10, but Super J10, and Doom for Peru's roster here. And let's see how they will fare up against Bolivia, which Gani has mentioned has been doing really well here in these qualifiers.
Yeah, and again, and maybe you guys have watched Bolivia. It's the usual roster, right? With WL, you got K-Boom as well in the Rome,
Mm-hmm.
and John Smith and the XP. Please do note though, the pairing that the Roamer and that EXP, Kimberly, um,
Mm-hmm.
John Smith, the EXP laner, and K-Boom is incredible because they tend to draft themselves to the playmaker kind of play style, and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it works, right? So expect the Khalid, the Arlet to be given towards
Mm-hmm.
either or K-Boom and John Smith. Just expect
Mm-hmm.
that early game playmaking from the side of Bolivia.
Oh man, I'm excited to see who's going to be on the blue side. That's going to be such a big
Yep,
factor for both of the teams, right? It's going to dictate the tempo
definitely.
that we're going to see in the draft. I'm not so sure if that is ban worthy. I think at most you'd want to ban out at least one, right? Like maybe leave one open, especially if you're the first pick, or not unless I think for the previous qualifiers we've seen a lot of East and Chins being prioritized, but with this patch not so sure because, like what you said, it's every single time there's a new patch, there's always a new hero that will come up, something that will be prioritized and definitely will make the impact. So let's see here for our first match, and again BO3, right? Like what you said, whoever takes this first game will be getting the momentum all the way.
Let's hope. Let's hope for the better team to or the team that it deserved. The game
Yeah.
just wins, right? Let's see here. Will it be Bolivia? Where will it be Peru? I want to see exciting MLBB. I want to see a good setup with great execution as well, and also right even from the start the drafts. Hopefully, we get to see good drafts here. Peru, I think what they need to focus on here, Kimberly, is themselves here. So you
Yeah.
gotta know your power picks. You gotta know your comfort picks. Again, either or, blue side, red side. If they can draft themselves a comfortable approach, I think they have good chances against Bolivia.
Hmm. Yeah, hopefully, for these two teams, right? Looking at this, I think in their respective regions, MLBB has been here and there, popping up here and there. There's definitely a whole good number of VODs, probably even streamers or even aspiring professional players that are here and there. So I think they really have a good idea of what the game is, how to play it, and even maybe extensive experience. I mean, who knows, right? Like how much time they've been spending on MLBB. So I don't know. Like I'm curious too. Like Gani, the time when you first learned about MLBB, when you first casted, how long do you play per day, right? Like that's the biggest question. I've had like at least one whole day I've been playing MLB, but I don't know if you've ever had that extent, like of one whole day just playing MLB.
Hey, I love games and I got the boys with me. So yeah, I definitely had days where it was just an off day. And yeah, I'm just like spamming rank games with the boys. So yeah, it's just I love to play the game as well up to this point. And Kimberly, I'm quite surprised you had a day where you spam rank games too. You had
Yeah.
the girls or you got the boys with you?
Well, I'm one of the boys. Usually, just play. Depends really who, but most of the time, it's a mix. It's really a mix of like
Okay.
different people that I play with. I've actually had new friends because of the game as well. Let's say it's a friend of a friend who's playing with
Right.
us, and then we get like a win streak, and we're like, yeah, let's just play together. I mean, if you have good synergy, right? Like, why are
Yeah.
you not gonna play together if you can get more wins?
If it ain't
I mean,
broke,
it
don't
does
fix
happen,
it,
right?
right?
Yeah, like the teams here. I think that's overall what they're trying to build as well here. The synergy, the experience of playing together here in the ISF qualifiers is such a big thing, especially for some of the up and coming teams that are looking forward to perhaps have grander dreams in the future of playing in a much bigger stage, and this might just be it.
Let's see, hopefully, right? Again, their journey is still far. It's just the qualifiers if they want to make it to the big stage, but you gotta take it step by step. And some of them are making the right approach, winning their matches, keeping things tidy, executing properly. And if they're able to maintain that sort of quality, they will. That team or that country will definitely go far in in this tournament. So, yeah, again, I personally can't wait just to see the drafts here, Kimberly. What are your expectations though? Would you want to see peculiar picks? And if you do, what do you expect, or what do you want to see from
I want to see
either
more
role?
of the supports. I think I've been mentioning this from time to time. Like I want to see more of the supports. I
Supports.
think there was a time, especially here in our region, that it was
Yeah.
really such a big thing. It was a game changer. I think it was also the meta maker for um, a lot of the teams
Yeah.
abroad. They've been seeing it here in our region, and they're hoping to translate it to theirs. But ladies and gents, welcome
Hey.
to the drafting phase. We're gonna be seeing that in just a bit, or maybe we can guess the draft. Who knows? Peru on the blue side, Bolivia on the red, then immediately a CC, still a perma ban. I think this is no surprise. One of the best, I would say, EXP laners right now. Like it
Hmm.
has good sustain, good crowd control. So I think overall this is I would say a staple ban
I am
for
not
either
the
one of the
only one
teams.
bound by
Bolivia,
these
you mentioned the Arlot,
chains.
you mentioned the Khalid. Will this actually come through for either one of these sides, or maybe just choose to leave both of them open and maybe each of the teams can actually pick one for themselves.
Yeah, they're definitely looking for that trade here. And you mentioned the support. One hero that is currently quite popular here, especially if we're talking about Indo region, is the
My
Mm.
tail's been itching for a real
the
Angela, yeah.
tasty
Angela. Yeah,
sting.
it's buffed in this current patch, so
To
perhaps
me,
we
It's
might
what's worth the
see.
buzz
insane.
matters.
I think
It
that's
is
another
insane.
statement. Would say it's an insane buff on the. I don't know how to feel about it. Like usually, I actually don't really prefer the Angela as
Right.
a roam because I feel like I'm more of the tankier types, the setter type. So Angela is more of like really
Ooh.
aiding the entire team, right? Like giving the additional shield. But the cooldown is just insane. I mean, you can't even use the fleeting time. I mean,
No.
you'd be insane to use the fleeting time at this point. Like its cooldown is at 20 seconds. I think at the moment you detach, you get like at least what 15 seconds of your ultimate
Yeah.
backup. So I think this is the time where you say you can just waste your ultimate at any single time. It's just so good. I think it should also be prioritized. Let's see if this will be the
Definitely.
case. But so many things open right now. Arlot, Khalid, both open.
Yeah. A lot of things are open, Yi Sun Chin, if they like and
Yeah.
comfortable to prioritize their jungler position as well. You got the Lancelot that perhaps might
Oh
be
yeah.
prioritized Bolivia. So what are they going to ban here? A lot of things. But remember, Peru take one, Bolivia takes two. If they
Yeah.
play the cards right,
There's
two priorities on the board.
there's also the Zushin that
Yeah.
is also overall really really good for both sides. Damage wise, wave clear. It's just a really still such a stellar choice for both sides. So yeah, it's gonna be banned away, which means that this leaves the Arlot, Khalid, Angela, Yi Sun Shin, Lancelot. These are usually the prios, and it's gonna dictate what Bolivia is gonna pick up next. Yeah, I'm loving this new patch. You don't know what you're gonna get, but it's gonna be the Baksha for the first pick here for Peru. I think this is still very flexible. Like it can be
Yeah.
flex both roam at times EXP and jungle. So I think we still don't know what Peru has, but Bolivia can now pick up either the Arlot, Arlot Angela, Arlot Shin, something along those lines.
Definitely, definitely. It seems like it will be the Yisun Shin first, though.
Mhm.
What they're saying is they're not convinced with the Baksha. There you
Oh,
go. That's the
Arlot.
Arlet, right? Usually it is for John Smith, so definitely it will fall to the EXP. But Pearl, quick to respond here, Kimberly.
Yeah.
Seems like they want the Harith, and I don't mind they go in and lock. Okay, there you go. That's the
Oh,
Angela right there.
that's a whole lot of magic damage though for the side of Peru. That's three. So
True.
I'm aiming like physical damage already for their XP lane, and I mean their mid laner is gonna be yeah. So that's what I'm worried about. Just a whole lot of magic damage. But overall, if you look at these first three picks of Peru, overall great mobility wise, it's there. But Bolivia, these are comfort picks. These are power picks for them. So will they seal the deal with maybe picking up their gold laner or maybe perhaps a roamer that can go head to head with this Angela?
I like a roamer pick. Again, the Khalid is open, but against a Harith,
Yeah.
is that ideal?
Plus a
Especially
Baksha, so
plus the Baksha, right? So early game, sure, it can be a threat. So that's why they hold on to that roamer position. They instead go for range, which I like, right? It has
or some.
mobility with the wings by wings, and it's a good complete drafter, at least for Bolivia. You got crowd control, you got the jungler, a good one, and yeah, a hero that has range that can burst the enemies down.
Maybe Agatotkacha ban will come through here for Bolivia. They go ahead and ban away the Lapu-Lapu. The CC's already out, so maybe perhaps the Yuzo might be in the picture or the Uranus, something along those lines. So I think they will probably focus their bans on the XP laner. As for Peru, though, they still don't have a gold laner here for Bolivia. Mincetar though is looking real good up against this Harriet, a direct counter. So I'm not so sure if that's so far off, but um, I'm just putting it out there for the teams. Maybe that might be a thing. But the Gatot Gacha actually is surprisingly banned out by Peru here. I thought they might actually be using it for the XP lane.
Oh yeah, you're right. It is banned out. Considering the Farsa is on the opponent's side, you would want the Gatot Kacha to be in your composition, but Peru thought otherwise. They will ban two heroes that is quite big, a big crowd control and AoE, right?
Uh-huh.
With the Grok as well. Bolivia seems like they're still not convinced here with
Yeah.
the Baksha jungler, right? So they show the Lancelot ban. Interesting.
Yeah, I think that's what's good about picking up a Baksha first, right? Like
Exactly.
it just messes with your mind. Like, where is this guy gonna go? Is it gonna go to the XP? Is it gonna go to the jungle? Which I think Bolivia just wants all sides covered, everything covered. I mean, you don't want like a Lancelot popping up right
Nope.
in the for the last pick of Peru, right? And they
No.
flex that Baksha into the XP, which is also I would say a fair matchup between an Arlot. Now Bolivia needs to have something to go up against the Harriet, maybe a Granger, but instead, they go for a whole lot more crowd control. Two setters for the side of Bolivia. I think Peru has to match
Ooh.
the setters here. There's two. Like if you got the final slash, there's still the Minoan Fury to go up against here. So Peru has to be geared up for that. They need an expedition to set up the place. And the Lancelot does make sense right now. They switch up, put the Baksha in the XP, and now lock in the Hayabusa. This is interesting.
Yeah, this is actually very interesting. Okay, so it's confirmed. It's
Wow.
not EXP Baksha. It is actually
It's
Rome Baksha, but Angela mid. Kimberly, Yuzong
yeah, yeah,
EXP.
yeah.
So that's
Yeah,
gonna be the case
wow.
here. Angela mid. Again, two flex
Okay.
picks used here from Peru.
Okay, so they do get those two physical damages out for the side of
Yep,
Peru for the last two picks. But this is
yep,
so mobile for the side of Peru. You got the Black Dragon, you got
definitely.
the Baksha, the rotations are gonna be so fast. But for Bolivia, I think this is a more well-rounded type of composition. They gotta lock in their gold laner right now to go head-to-head with the Harriet. I want to see something different, Bolivia. Come on. Shock us here with the Mincetar last pick. I mean,
Oh,
very
it
risky though. Very
works.
risky to pull that off. They do have the Eastern Shin, so they can kind of pull off that kind of. Oh, okay, they're gonna go for still the well-rounded type of lineup. So I think
Yeah.
overall the Arlot's good. They got two scaling heroes though. So you got two marksmans, glass cannon type of composition. So if this kind of stretches out to the late game, Bolivia will just have the time of their lives.
Hey, you know what? I think what they're saying, we need to stabilize a hero that can clear the far lane as well. And technically, right, if we're talking about mobility, yeah,
Mhm.
Moskov can teleport to the fight if the SOD lands. So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this will be the 10 heroes that will be deployed for our opening match of today. Will it be Peru? Will it be Bolivia? Kimberly, final thoughts before we enter the game.
Okay, I'm super excited for Bolivia. You've been hyping them up real good, so you guys better live up to the hype of Gotti. I mean, obviously, you guys have been living up to it, right? Like
Oh, disappointing.
reaching this stage of the
Yeah.
American qualifiers, shocking us by taking down Argentina, and now looking to take down their next target, which is
Smash
Peru.
them.
But let's see, Peru's lineup. It's
All
so
troops
scary in the
deployed.
early, right? Like you got a Hayabusa, and this is farmed up really well. It's just absolutely hard to kind of clap back from that situation. So let's see. It is going to be Peru versus Bolivia here for our best out of three. This is going to be game number one. Let's see who's going to make it out first. As we have a Hayabusa versus Lee Shin in the jungle. Two kind of heroes that can snowball, but let's see how this will pan out for both sides.
Let's see. Let's see. Kimberly landed on bottom
Oh,
side. Go.
wow.
Whoa, that's a quick
That
gank
was
already. John Storm finds first blood. Rushi was able to survive that one.
Oh, they heard me. They heard me, right? Like they've been hyping up and they're living up to it. That was such a fast rotation coming out from WL. Going all the way to the bottom, actually getting the XP there and even getting a pick off onto Peru as early as not even 1 minute in. They already got one kill.
Not even 1 minute in, you're right. And that's the gank power. Oh, that's a rotation that the wings by wings from WL just providing the assist. It seems like they are going for a 2v1 bottom side again, but in the top, it's going to be Doom actually caught there. Again, a kill under, what, 2 minutes? Already 3 kills on the board for Bolivia. The perfect, ideal early game will fall for them.
No, that's already two kills for Rushi. This is not looking good, especially for the first 30 minutes. Although it is going to be a clapback here. Ooh, no. Survives with 1 HP, and now he's gonna try to go in for more to revitalize. And the second wave goes down. That's 5 kills for the side of Bolivia.
Man, what? So unfortunate. The last Shuriken did not land on WL, and WL 1 HP. Clutch survived there, and it seems like they will focus on towards the first nuke. No angles whatsoever from Peru to contest.
No.
A free one, it seems like they are going for the jungle camps here. They will not be greedy though.
Yeah, 2K for the side of Bolivia. I think for the side of Peru though, they have to calm down for now. Like they're very reactive to what Bolivia has been, showing so far. They usually try to kind of clap back up against them, but usually it's Bolivia that gets the better end of the stick there. So this is a Harriet that still needs the time. And the Hayabusa as well that needs farming overall to be able to pick up the items. But this is looking really scary with Bolivia already at 5 kills, 3 minutes, not even 3 minutes into the game.
Nope. Nope. And it seems like it's already, again, just a perfect early game, right? Deathless. Oh, they want to engage. That's a final slash connecting. Lionel will not be able to get out from that. No flicker on him.
Yeah, the timing is impeccable here for both sides. And now Doom on the bottom side.
Oh, still able to dance away. Now with the hard guard and fanboy looking for the counter engage. Oh, that's a good traceless. WL though will be stuck isolated, taken down. SOD landing. That's going to be Galetito trying to provide the damage, but that will be WL going down. Great counterplay from Peru.
And even on the bottom side too, we see the Hayabusa Sexy Cake doing his best to take that. Oh, but top side.
Galetito lockdown. That's gonna be a kill for Doom. Now, Bolivia, they gotta slow down their tempo here, especially after giving out 2 expensive kills on their mid laner and gold laner.
They've been taking at least like the gold plating, right? Especially for the XP. As you can see, John Storm has been, aggressively rotating all across the map. So at least I think that's the best thing that Peru can do right now to at least kind of get their gold lead up. But right now, Bolivia looking for the next objective, already starting up this turtle cake, and I think this is going to amp up their gold even more. I'm not sure. I feel like they're gonna take this turtle, not even going for the retribution, maybe invade the purple, but yeah, it's gonna be two turtles already to the side of Bolivia.
Wow. Wow, indeed. And seems like nothing's stopping them on controlling the river, taking the neutral objectives as well. It seems like the oh, that's a shadow kill forced to be used. That's the shadow. Oh, still able to get out. Galetito locks him down. That's gonna be Feather Edge Strike deployed. John Storm looking for an angle. John Storm fights a flicker final slash. That's gonna be Fanboy still able to get out, but that will be 3 members off the board for Peru.
Yo, that is so deadly from John Storm. We weren't expecting that coming through, but yeah, the rest of Peru understands that very well. There's a whole lot more team fight capabilities, like what I said, 2 setters for the side of Bolivia. So it's kind of difficult, like when you have an Angela, right? Like you still need somebody to set up the play here, or either counteract to it, right? Like the most who can actually frontline is Baksha Fanboy, or maybe at a certain point Rushi, right? But either or, you're gonna have to be clearing up the lane. So I think team fight, Bolivia is definitely willing to take those. They got two. They got a Minimalist Fury. They got the setup play with the final slash, but they just keep on going here, not even wasting any time on the ultimates.
No, that was an attempt from both. The hard guard was quickly triggered. Now, they got the structure bot. They got the structure top as well. So slowly but surely, actually, right? Bolivia is covering more space. They do lose tempo. That's the flicker minion fury. SOD landing. That's gonna be Sexy Cake finding the retribution. K-Boom stuck. Shaman Force Pop. That's gonna be John Storm in the back trying to find the final slash. Finds it. That's a three-man final slash. Oh, that's a furious dive jumping. John Storm. Wrong play there. Blunders, and that's gonna be a kill. That's a shutdown as
Oh,
well. It's gonna be Bolivia now with fighting with four.
wow, that was such punishing Bolivia here. Knowing that they got two setups here, they can't do this every single time. They get a pick off here onto Sexy Kate, so it's a 1-4-1 trade. But this is what's good about having the Angela, right? Like you can see the Angela just sustaining the team fights most of the time. Lionel actually goes for either the Heart Guard onto the Sexy Cake or Fanboy or even Doom, right? Like as long as these heroes are protected, they can keep on going for these extended team fights. And I think for Bolivia, the only thing about their lineup is yes, they do got the setups, but at the same time, it's very much punishable, right? Like when you go too deep, and they did get that shutdown gold on John Storm, so that was at least something that they needed. As you can see, the gold is not that far apart right now, at least 1K. Still favoring the side of Peru though. Bolivia though.
Tempo gone down. Total of 17 kills on the board here, 8 minutes in. Seems like they want to siege the mid. Is this the right call? Take a look at the box shot, looking for an angle here with the shield community. Perhaps look to find a member, but now with the Lord up, oh, that's the damage, that's the feather airstrike, and that's the, again, the black dragon form petrified. Galetito goes down. Minion roar towards the back just to provide cover, and it seems like Peru, with the man up, they will shift their focus on the Lord.
Yep, this is what's really scary. You got a backshot tanking up the damage, Sunstorm. Okay, they're not gonna go for more, but instead straight for wow. And just like that, the turnaround of events, it's gonna be Peru picking up the Lord. For the side of First Lord, I know this is not really such a big deal for the teams. Yep, they can still clear it out, but big thing for the side of Peru, they can at least make the side lanes move because Bolivia has been, aggressively taking in the turrets. And this is what's looking really deadly, right? Like you got somebody to dive in like the Yu Zhong, and then you got the damage as well from Doom. So I think at this point, right, their damage dealers right now for Bolivia are left uncovered during those team fights. WL and Galetito, who has been openly taken down. But oh, there's a play here.
That's the Shadowfield span already. Doom! Oh my goodness, will fall first. It's not a good sign for the Peruvians. Bolivia SOD lands. Oh my goodness, the precision.
Oh
Sexy
no.
Cake will not be able to get out. Two members off the board for Peru. Now Bolivia looks to apply more pressure. But take a look at the black dragon form. Arushi finds a kill. Looks for Galetito. Has the hard guard in hand as well. Oh, final slash flicker and good night for Rushi. That's going to be Lionel here trying to hold on, trying to buy time, but that's going to be a double for Nico with the Lord marching bot side. Peru will not be able to contain Bolivia's aggression.
That's a valiant attempt for the side of Peru, though. Like you see Rushi just doing his job here as the XP laner, and most of the time you see his energy just focused on Galetito here, who has already suffered 4 casualties. I believe this is all care of Rushi, who has been such a menace here up against the Moskov. I'm checking the items here of Galetito. He hasn't picked up the Wind of Nature just yet, so that's gonna be an extra worry he needs to think of, especially every time he lands that SOD in those team fights. So they have to be extra careful, especially for their front lines. But right now, it's looking really good. If you got a Yi Sun Jin in the jungle, you still have that kind of backup, right? Like if the Moskov still needs more time. You got the Yisun Shin here of Nico that has been doing such a great job earning the goal. But it seems like again Peru has given the green light here for the team fight as John Sword caught in the middle of it all.
Red team
Oh
has
no, John
been
Storm goes
slain.
down. A little bit too aggressive there, overextending, and Bolivia will lose a member. But it seems like with the structure here, they need to equalize, right? They only got two. Seems Peru got three. So technically, right, map control should be on Peru.
I think what's really difficult here too is like you don't know when to land that bit of airstrike. I think the Yuzong here of Rushi has been so good. Like every single time you get that Black Dragon form, it intimidates so much of WL and Galetito that it forces the flickers out. So I think for Rushi here, the XP laner's job has been done so well that you bait out all of these skills that they don't though they don't have it in all these team fights. And this Yuzong is one of those heroes that just loves to keep on diving and diving these team fights, and not to mention the amount of sustain it just has. But right now Bolivia has the damage. I think they're just waiting for the initiation. The second Lord is up as Galatito also doing Moskov things right there on the bottom lane, just clearing out the waves and can just join that team fight with the SOD. But right now Fanboy looking for a target here. Spots out Jon Snow and concentrates Possans already. I'm not so sure. They're not expending out any ultimates just yet, knowing that this Lord is going to be
Blue
huge. But
team
bottom
turret
side, though,
has been
somebody has to
destroyed.
take care of that because Galatito is just pushing his way down bottom, getting a turret for the side of Bolivia.
Yeah, it's a good like disengage right from Bolivia. They
Yeah.
understand that hey, bottom side is ours, so let's not take this fight just yet. Now they will shift their focus on towards the Lord. 50% HP. That's the Shaman Force and the hard guard committed. That's gonna be Fanboy very low. Uh-oh, feather airstrike, Black Dragon
Rushi.
form. Sexy Cake finds a retribution. The K-Boom now stuck in front. John Storm will be the next casualty alongside K-Boom, but that will be Peru losing out the Lord, but they got two members.
You know what? This is a thing again for the light of
Turret
Peru.
has
You
been
you
destroyed.
it keeps you flustered every single time that there's team fights. Like once the Black Dragon form is up or once that Bakshaw fanboy is rolling, they're gonna be backing away from the team fights, which is kind of difficult, right? Like you want to get these objectives, but there's so many members. At least two members here are zoning you out. Not to mention the threat also of Sexy Cake's Hayabusa that can just burst the damage dealers here of Bolivia. And now they got the Lord on the bottom side. I'm not so sure if they're gonna go for more
Red
engage.
team
At least all
turret
the
has been
seconds here should be
destroyed.
out here for the side of Bolivia.
Hmm. Yeah, it seems like with the Lord this time around, Peru will try to capitalize here. John Storm and friends trying to hold on. That's the Yu Zong popping the Black Dragon form. Gotta say, it's a little bit too premature. But let's see. The Lord will charge bottom side. The top is cleared. Oh, that's medium floor topped. Let's see. K-Boom looking for a dive. Oh, Nico caught there in front and will be taken down by Doom. They lose a turret bot side and top is looking vulnerable. They will lose two inhibitors here. Bolivia, they gotta defend, but that's a mistake.
Blue team
Great
hero
punish.
has been
Sexy Cake was
slain.
unable to find the shadow. He was stunned. And he will be the only trade for Bolivia. Will Bolivia apply more pressure now? Seems like Peru, they're quick to disengage.
I think K-Boom just wants more here. They got the SOD. I'm not so sure if that's the signal. I think knowing for a fact Sexy Cake is not there to go and do the cleanup work. They just gotta back away. Plus Bolivia, there's still the super minions coming in here from the last lord, so they should clear this one out. Now the top and the bottom are already out, so this is looking a whole lot different from what we've seen in the first half of this game. It was
Nope.
Bolivia in control. Now Peru, after those lords, they've been taking turrets after turrets here.
Yeah, they were able to recover, right? They were just I guess, the sharper team after the first early game. The first two turtles was quite clean from Bolivia, but I think they overextend too much after that in Peru. They were quick to capitalize, right? There are no pushovers. If you see a slight mistake from Bolivia, they will definitely capitalize. And perhaps, boom, while we're
Oh wow.
already again forced to use that flicker defensively, that's not a good trade.
Mhm.
Peru finding the right connections here.
Yeah, I think that flicker that just goes to show how deadly the lineup of Peru is. Like even K Boom is
Yeah.
bleeding from the damage Doom has been tossing out. So I think it doesn't even matter here. Fatwa can just go for the engage here.
Immune Roar pops. SOD will be again discommitted.
Oh,
Oh, that's a lot of
flicker out.
damage from Doom. Forced to Galetito. Force Galetito to use the flicker, and that perhaps
Mhm.
might be enough for Peru to commit on towards the Lord.
Yeah. Flickers out. Like that's K Boom and Galatito that doesn't have those battle spells. So I think they're still gonna try, right? Like this is the third Lord of the game, so they gotta do something here. They gotta at least like try and attempt to take this Lord as John Storm and K Boom looking for the opportunity. But let's take note, K Boom does not have that flicker up, so I think for Peru they can just keep on going. Doom does have the damage already, so they're just waiting for the full engage here as the minions are also on top are working it.
Oh no, oh no, K-Boom will not be able to escape that one. Fear Zap from the back. Gotta be careful, Rushi. Landing the Fear Zap on towards John Storm, still able to get out. But yeah, they got the Lord now. Surely, with a man down, without Minotaur. This is just an open Lord for Peru. And definitely with this Lord, they might find game one here, Kimberly.
Wow, I did not expect that coming out from the side of Peru, especially in this latter half with how well they're doing this. I mean, be careful what you wish for. I mean, I did wish for
Yeah.
seeing a support, and yeah, I'm gonna be seeing it here. I mean, I'm not gonna deny it. Like this Angela has just found the crown of being the new most banned support. I mean, it used to be the Florine in rankings, and now this Angela, even up to professional play, it has translated the ultimate that it has. The cooldown time is insane, as you can see every single time it is available for the taking. And now this could be the final push that Peru needs. They're knocking in the base here of Bolivia. They got this enhanced for the third one, hopefully looking to close this game as Lucy already popping in that Black Dragon form and the Heart Guard. Better there strike onto the backside.
That's a Shaman Force already popped. Doom very low. That's going to be the stun. But the Lord is chunking the main base. And ladies and gentlemen, surely with Nico going down, and that will be Peru taking game one in this best of three.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I mean, I did wish for support, and now finally, I've finally seen the support coming into play, and I think this should be one of the first few times that we actually seen it work. And the Angela, undeniably, one of the most I would say it's over buffed. I think it's just a really great buff overall for the recent patch, and I think for Peru they played it out so well. They did have a rocky start, but let's take a look at the highlights on what would happen in that first matchup between Peru and Bolivia. Like what I said, there was so much pickoffs by Bolivia in the start, like I think five, and eventually, despite the good setups here by John Storm and K Boom, I think for Peru they just um, worked it out really well on who to use the hard guard on. And eventually, when Doom had the damage, like you can see even the front lines here of Bolivia really struggled to find an opening on when to go in.
And you can see already, right? Peru, what they need to focus on is just protect Doom. Sure, he died 3 times in the early, but after he got his power spike, I think it's just game over. With the hard guard, it just adds more sustainability. And yeah, even here, the retribution from such a take has been
Yeah.
so on point, right? Especially if we're talking about the Lord skills, Lord take, very, very well executed here from Peru.
Yeah, I think it was the Angela of Lionel really did aid up a lot of these team fights, and I think it's looking really scary, right? Like you have this hard guard, and then you got the mobility as well, the innate mobility that these heroes have from the side of Peru. It's really difficult to fight that kind of lineup, especially when once the Harriet, the rest of the team are already gassed up to go. As Peru closing this match with 18 minutes and 36 seconds overall. But I would say it's like a back and forth team fights, right? There were team fights that Bolivia won, then Peru, some clapbacks here and there, but eventually you know how to close the game. Peru just did exactly just that. I have to give it to Rushi for this game though. He's my personal MVP, right? The zoning up against the Farsa of WL and Galatito here was just impeccable. You've seen how much it faded out those skills. That's why I think overall, the Yuzong here worked pretty much like a gatot kacha, right? Like the intimidation coming out from the ultimate was just so good. As you can see, it's a very kind of varied effect when it comes to the ATM, the carry, and the tag. Like you see different heroes here. The ATM, which you've seen, it was the YSS, Rushi for the carry, of course, being the one with the most eliminations here for Peru. As you can see, the uh, the Black Dragon farm leading the charge here for the side of Peru really made it so hard here for WL and Galetito to position themselves in the team fights.
It was really tough, right? It seems like the AOE from the side of Peru was a little bit too much as well. Even though a Minion Roar and the Final Slash was in the side of Bolivia, but it seems like Peru, they know how to recover. And again, a well-deserved win, I gotta say, from side of Peru, right? Despite them losing the early game, and even I mentioned it was a very ideal early game for Bolivia. But hey, Kimberly, I'm excited to see what is going to happen for game two. Will it be a clean 2-0 or will they equalize?
Hey guys, it's 1-0 for Peru. After a great display of recovery in that mid game, they were able to bounce back and they got the dub. But hey, job's not finished. It's a best of three. Welcome back to the World Esports Iesf American Qualifiers. Back with Gani and Kimberly Moss. How are you doing?
Yep, that's still good. Still reeling from that last matchup. I mean, we've seen the effects. We've been talking about the roaming changes in the recent patch, and I think it's very much evident in that game number one.
Yep.
There was plenty of Angelas all throughout the qualifiers, but I think overall this was such a good use of it. I'm not so sure if it's going to be on the ban list. Usually it does come out here and there, but it was just looking really scary in the hands of Peru. I did say it was a very mobile lineup, and I think they've used it to its fullest potential in that game. So I think overall, even though they did struggle from the start, they managed to close in the game. And surprisingly, like what you said, Bolivia has been doing really well, has been shaking things up here in the American qualifiers. But it seems like Peru is giving them a run for their money, and now it's going to be Bolivia on the blue side. I'm wondering now if the Angela will be a prio here, but I think it's we're still gonna have to find out, right? Like through the bans. If I'm not mistaken, it was a CC one prio bans here
Oof.
for Bolivia. So yep, that's still going to be the case here as they already pick their bans. But I think for Peru, right? Like I think they are the ones who should actually ban away the meta heroes or the heroes that they don't want to go up against, knowing that Bolivia does have the first pick here. You did mention K Boom and John Smith that really is comfortable, with setter types of heroes. So I think that's also something that they should consider, knowing for a fact that John Smith had such good final slashes in game number one.
They should definitely keep an eye out for that. But at least, hey, what they perhaps Peru can say, hey, the Arlet is not really a problem because technically they got the dub either way. All right, so will they respect that here in game two? Let's just find out. Bolivia seems like the CC. You mentioned it being permaban. Seems like yeah, you're right. I think they want the Baksha now. I think they're eyeing for that Baksha pick from side of Bolivia. They have the first pick in Peru. Great call there. Arlot ban
Mhm.
comes through. And yeah,
As well
Bolivia
as the
seems like
Harriet.
as well as the Harris. So
Mhm.
that's two. There's respect bans here, not just from one team, but from both.
Yeah, so these are the two heroes. Like, yeah, I mean, sans the Angela, right? Like the Harriet
Yeah,
was so deadly. K Boom and John Smith just suffered the burst damage coming out from this Harriet in the late game. So I think there's massive respect coming out from Bolivia. Towards Doom here with how well he used it. Same case for Peru. The final slashes were so on point with John Smith. Unfortunately, it was not enough to seal the deal for their side. So let's see if this will actually be make a difference. So now the last ban here for Bolivia, will it be the Gatot Gacha? Okay, so there's still um it's still pretty much similar to what we've seen in the previous qualifiers, the previous matches and the patches. Gatot Kacha is still such a big impact maker. You did mention the Baksha, which was such a big flex for Peru. Now they ban it away. Will Bolivia go for still a Yisun Shin or?
oh
Oh, okay. This was banned away in game number one. There's so many things open here. Zushin. Now
yeah,
Peru can still answer out with the Angela. Depends on what they want to pair it up with, right? There's no Harriet already. There's no Baksha. So I think overall it's still good.
yeah. I think Angela again. It provides flex, right? Either mid roam and a lot of combinations, right? It can go
Yeah.
well with assassin, it can go well with fighter, and even gold lane for that late game insurance as well. But now, um, again, with not a lot of heroes that were played in game one, i.e. the Harith, we might see a different approach here from side of Peru. And there you
Lance.
go. That's going to be the approach. Lancelot and the
Oh,
Khalid. That's the early
not
game
the
aggression
duo
right
I was
there.
expecting. Yeah, but definitely aggressive. I was expecting, yeah, let's go with the classic Angela Lancelot. But Peru's like, let's shake things up. We're gonna bring out the Khalid. We're gonna bring out the Lancelot. We can be aggressive. So this means that they want a fast game with this. They definitely do want that, but Bolivia secures some of the favorites that were banned away in game number one, so they get themselves a Fovius for the team fight. And again, it's all about the team fights here. But Peru is just really racking up the
Wow.
early game here with these first three picks. This is aggression after aggression. Come on, look at these guys. They're so ready to go all out from the start, and I think Bolivia has to gear up for that, especially for the last two picks.
A lot of engaged tools, definitely, right? From the side of Peru, we got the previous spider, the raging sandstorm with the flicker. So, yeah, Bolivia, they got to cover that ground at least. You gotta be more careful now. It's gonna be the second phaser, Kalea, with the band. They do not want to pick off hero. Definitely can destroy the formation from Peru. And seems like Bolivia quick to ban the Eve out. They do not want a hero that is also very strong for team fights.
Mhm.
Proper
Yeah.
engage tool they have, and with the follow up, like the real world manipulation, that is going to be very overwhelming if that goes through.
Yeah, especially up against the Zushin, and there's absolutely no way to reach the back lines with this first three picks of Peru. It's gonna look really deadly as a combo overall. But now the Kalean still a permaban here for Peru. They've been banning this away. I'm actually surprised that this actually slipped up all the way to the second phase of the bans. So they still need a roamer. Will they take out K Boom's heroes? Setter tanks like the Minotaur that was also used well. So they take away the high loss that will actually be such a great front line here for Bolivia. So which leaves the Minotaur still open here. Bolivia might actually take oh wow, this late in. The Angela was open all the way. So what are they gearing up for? They're gearing up for the Kali to be um maybe perhaps the Rome and the Lapu Lapu. I think they're still, getting all their bases covered here.
Definitely, definitely, and yeah, I'm quite. We didn't talk about the Angela because we thought, it wouldn't survive the first phase. Bolivia says like, hey, you guys forgot something. The Angela is still on the board, and they ban it out. And with the Farsa, right? It's somehow very similar with the Eve.
Yeah.
Adds more burst though, right? A perfect hero to follow up Lapu Lapu, um, a Khalid as well. So yeah, Peru looking very, very balanced here, composition
Mhm.
wise. Let's see here for that last pick, right? For that golden, it seems like Bolivia will add
Wow.
range to their composition. It's gonna be the Granger here.
Yeah, it's a massive AoE again, and the setter they pick up the Badang. Although I'm not so sure though overall, right? Like you're going up against a Khalid and a Lapu Lapu, so you would want somebody who kind of soaks up more of the damage. So I'm not so sure about this last pick of Bolivia, but overall they're well rounded. Peru
Yeah,
locks in the Bruno here. I think overall this is such a great early, and they also got the late game covered with the Bruno here for Peru. But for Bolivia, again, they're working with the same strategy that they did in game number one, getting two types of markmen that can scale really well in the late game. But the place, the setups, I think it's still gonna favor the side of Peru when it comes to the engages, right? You got the Lapu Lapu and you've got the Khalid here.
yeah, yeah. So again, a lot of just I feel like the composition from Peru is quite direct. It's just to provide peel, for the Bruno, and yeah, Lancelot, Lapu Lapu, Farsa, and Khalid will do the dirty work, right? They will be invasive in the early. They will give space towards the Bruno, and once the Bruno, got the power spike, definitely will be more active to join fight. So yeah, we might be seeing a 2-0 angle here just based on the draft. But
Yeah.
let's see here what will happen for because it's game two.
Yeah, this is looking like for the overall lineup, if you're talking about the great early and if you manage to be able to snowball with this kind of lineup, this is very scary for the side of Peru. I like that how, you know, for the side of Bolivia, they really want to get all their bases covered, right? Like even down to the drafting phase, their banning phase, you see that they want to get every single type of hero banned away. They don't want to leave no stones unturned here for their side, but it looks like I think for the Badang choice, I think it's questionable. Can still be utilized, but I think it's just difficult to pull off, right? With
Definitely,
the
yeah.
I think for the Lapu Lapu, the Lancelot, and the Khalid, it's gonna be difficult to pull off that kind of combo. not unless you manage to deal it up against the Farsa and the Bruno here. I think that's probably the primary targets that they want to get at this point.
Definitely going to be their focus on towards the gold, the mid, right? And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take a
Mhm.
slight pause
Pause.
here. No worries, no worries. But hey, they gotta hold that early game. Technically, with the Badang, with the Zushin, it is not that bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
To
Yeah.
hold the early aggression. But if they snooze a bit, definitely Peru will connect. So yeah, let's see here. I just want to see more action here, honestly, from more fight from Bolivia. This is the position where they were yesterday. It was a 2-1 series
Mhm.
against Argentina, and it was a 2-1 series with Brazil as well. So let's see, will
Yeah.
Bolivia be able to dig deep, just to
Mm.
equalize here in the series?
Mm. Yeah. One more win away. This is match point, by the way, for the side of Peru. You know who needs this match pause, though? I believe I really do wish that this was possible in the actual game, right? Like once you start, there's absolutely no pausing. I mean, this is the kind of concept that I think, let's say for my family members, for friends who have never touched MLB, they're like, can't you pause that game? And I'm like, no, this is not like those other games that you can pause.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah,
straight up like if you need to use the restroom, you got to do it in the draft, or you got to do it before you start the game. But here you go, the match will be resuming as we see
All
the
troops
lineups here, the
deployed.
overall lineups of Peru and Bolivia. It's looking really strong and aggressive here for the side of Peru. That I feel like we can expect from the Khalid, especially in the early game, especially with the recent changes on the roam position. I believe it is going to go to the side of Bolivia and kind of give vision to the side here of Peru on what's going to happen. And not to mention the goal it's going to be having. Wow, Nico, though. Look at that damage up close in HD.
wow. Yeah, that's the Khalid, right? Doing work. Oh, actually,
Oh,
Khalid
there's
will
the
not be
punish.
able. That's a punish right there, Kimberly.
Yeah, I think they were gearing up for a fact that this Khalid. I think most of the time I've seen the Khalids being played in Rome. They usually go to the jungle camps, and I think for Bolivia they were pretty much prepared for that. Now we see Lionel on the Farsa here this time, a little bit different from the gameplay which we've seen him use in game number one, which was the Angela. Right now, I think for this XP lane matchup, definitely Rushi is gonna have a much better time here up against the Phovius. The Phobius is more of like once the level 4 hits, right? But the Lapu Lapu can definitely sustain, maybe even invade the jungle sides here of Bolivia. But nothing much just yet. Just one punish here coming from the side of Bolivia. Nothing too much yet. But as you can see, level 2 has been attained here by John Storm. But like what I said, Rushi will still have the upper hand here with this Lapu Lapu. Especially, this is huge for Peru. Before this first turtle take, I think they should have the upper hand here for the XP lane.
Yeah, Harushi is looking for that level 4, right? To have
Yeah.
the bravest fighter in
Mhm.
hand.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a
It's up.
4v4
Yeah.
here. Okay. Let's see here. The setup, it seems like Sexy Kick and K-Boom is on it. That's the, okay, Mountain Shocker in the bottom side. Popped already, missing the Farsa. Oh, that's a flicker. Already, Fanboy jumping in on WLM K-Boom. That's a knock-up right there. Sexy Kick is able to reset the turtle. And Leon's not level 4, so that's not ideal. No feather airstrike yet so far. That's going to be Bolivia, though, making a move. That's the info right there. Yeah, Leon's not level 4. Let's commit on towards the turtle. That's going to be the cancel, though, from K-Boom. That will be the reset, though. Interesting approach. They're taking their time here. Sexy Kick is able to juke that one out. No puncture. That's a feather airstrike. But Nico clutch with the retribution. Finds the first neutral objective in the game. That's going to be John Storm trying to hold on. Goodness, Nico. Enough damage to burst Lionel down. Rushi goes as well. That's going to be 3 members. One kill, but they got Bolivia. They
Mhm.
got the turtle.
Yeah, they got the turtle. They got the kills here for their side. I think overall it was such a good clap. And whoa, 60 kick, almost there. Oh man, this is tough. The purple buff is actually gonna get taken in here by fanboy, so at least that's something good for the side of Peru. But Bolivia right now showing their teeth as well here in this early game. Galetito as well getting a bunch of these playthings as well. I think this Bruno definitely needs a whole lot more time. But Nico solo killed there. But Fanboy trying to find something here
Oh,
as the feathered airstrike onto the backside. Galatito taking down reload. Oh, here. 1 HP. This is still survives. And that's going to be
oh no.
Fanboy going in with the flicker and picking up the kill here for Peru.
That's a great combination there. Put down Peru. Great recovery as well. And now 4 minutes in, it's quite brawly. Take a look at the economy here. Still for Bolivia, but Sexy Cake is in the jungles of Bolivia.
Oh, yeah, that's one way to make Sexy Cake back away. So I think Peru overall, they did such a good job kind of responding to the gold lane matchup there, right? Like the Bruno, definitely when it comes to the poking, the Galatito will definitely have a much better time with the Granger, especially in the early game. Fortunately enough, they haven't suffered any casualties just yet in the gold lane. But right now, we see like a lot of brawls here and there, but I think majority for the side of Peru, they just want to get as much farm as they can, right? Like the first turtle already went to the side of Bolivia. I'm not so sure for the second one though. They have to find the opening here, but it's just gonna be Rushi and Sexy Cake over there at the turtle pit. So let's see if they will be able to snag this one. But the zone is just so good here for the side of Bolivia. They've been containing this turtle since the first one came in.
Oh, seems like they will, right? And let's see, that's a knockup onto his fanboy, reaching Sandstorm defensively. Second turtle will fall for Nico. It's a similar story from game one. Lionel, very low, take him down. Nico was able to connect that last arrow. One kill on the board again for Bolivia.
Mhm. Wow, Lionel already picked out twice. I think even without the with or without the flickers or even the wings by wings, you'd be surprised how many times he was taken down by Moon here, who has been doing such a good combo here and there with the Badang. Able to escape with a slither of health here. 4 kills for the side of Bolivia. This is pretty much the same song that they were singing in the first game. Doing very well from the start as Peru kind of struggling to get as much as they can right now. But the bottom side though, that's going to be the flicker out from Galatito. Still has the damage, still has the mobility, but forced to back away as Doom. Also making his way down to this turret. Fanboy as well looking for the opening, but that's going to be it for the side of Peru.
That will be it, right? And now it's a reset for both. Let's check the gold. It's just 1,000 between them, so definitely could go either way, especially after seeing Peru losing the early game, that first game, and then just recovering in that mid game. So expect a lot of turnarounds as well here. Sky Piercer, though, will already be in the hands of Galetito. Got to make sure Bolivia
Okay.
give the kills towards that side. And yeah, again, both teams just hovering around here and nothing too crazy.
Yeah, the both turtles though haven't taken in by Bolivia, which explains the gold lead. Wow. Not so sure if Sexy Tito or Sexy Cake rather. Galetito taking down Sexy Cake. And over at the bottom side, that's going to be John Storm taken out as well with the Bravest Spider. Now WL, nowhere to go. A double kill picked up here by the side of Peru. And that's going to be as much as they can take, at least a clapback from what they've taken down bottom side. So at least that's the most that they can take in. They're going to completely ignore the turtle and perhaps maybe even go for the purple buff as Doom. Again, we got to check what he's doing. This is the same thing that, um, you know, he's been farming up really well, especially in the game number one. And now he's looking to do the same. Rushi and Fanboy looking to stop this turtle as much as they can. Better airstrike. Who's going to be able to take it? It's 60k right in the nick of time. A double kill picked up here by Fanboy as John Storm. That is going to be the endless pursuit, infernal pursuit rather, here for John Storm, but they're not going to be going for more. 2 members down, and the turtle for the side of Peru. They're still alive and kicking, and not to mention Doom has not suffered any casualties and has been pushing that lane up top.
Yeah, man, what? This is just a lot of action here, Kimberly. And you can see 8 minutes in, 11 kills. Seems like they want to go for more. WL very low in the mid.
Okay, feathered airstrike, not gonna be getting that much. Forcing WL actually to pop in that ultimate. I'm actually surprised with how well K Boom has been utilizing this Badang, right? Like 113 on this Badang, considering the lineup that he's going up against, right? Like he's been
Yep.
finding the right targets. I think that's what we've been pointing out since the drafting phase. Like he should be the one taking down Lionel or Doom here at this point. Like the rest of the members here, Peru is just they can leave it up to them, but they just need to take down the Farsa here and the Bruno. But right now it is ultimates after ultimates being expended. And as you can see, Lionel has been just using the feathered airstrike here time and time again just to clear out the waves, not really for, starting up the team fights here for the side of Peru.
Oh, that's a conceal. Looking for Galetito. Pick her out. Galetito in the back. Oh, that's going to be the damage. Almost connecting. That's a stun though. Trying to provide the peel, trying to provide the cover. And that's going to be Galetito surviving. Now take a look at the back. Lionel is low. Better airstrike deployed. John Storm goes down. That's going to be Raging Sandstorm knocking one member up. Stun. K-Boom. Sexy Cake finds the execution. That's a double for that Lancelot. And Peru, they have fought back here. The recovery is insane again.
Yep, it's so fast. I mean, they took down Rushi. There was the shutdown, but instead, Peru just got the bigger W in that team fight and gonna go straight for that Lord. Fortunately enough, Nico is still up here and still steal that Lord away with the retribution. I think they're gonna do exactly just that. He's just camping out here, not unless he gets spotted out here. Oh!
The retribution steal! Nico!
Who's that?
Connecting, and that's gonna be Rushi falling. 2-for-1. Bolivia got the Lord though.
Yeah, wow, what an insane turn of events there. Man, the steal every single time, and now there's gonna be more Doom taken out there with the Lantern Flare and Galetito and the rest of the team, and now they got the Lord. They should be able to at least take down the second tier turrets here for their side. 10 kills for the side of Peru, but it's gonna be Bolivia still in control right now.
With the Lord, they will be able to take more grounds. They will be able to take more structure as well. Honestly, their composition for defense, not that bad. Kimberly, you got the Farsa, you got the Lapu. This is the first Lord. Rushi, though, going in a little bit too far. Will go back, but they will lose all of their tier 2. Yeah, they're looking to take more. At least, they gotta be more calculated here, Kimberly. 40 seconds on the clock for that next Lord, and take a look at the positioning, the setup
Mhm.
here from Bolivia. Very cheeky.
Yeah, yeah. I think they're trying to look for someone to go for the death bush here. Is this the one with the more bushes? Like you can have a whole lot more ambushes. I think they know they have the upper hand here. They can force out the team fight as much as they want and go straight for the Lord here. It's just one mistake on who gets into that bush. Even K-Boom is just doesn't matter who he's going up against, right? Like the mere intimidation that he has with this Padang is enough as the Lord is finally gonna be up here. Second one for the taking, and this is gonna be the more powerful Lord than the first one that they took in. But wow, look at how fast that Lord is chunked down without even a chance for Peru to even peek and probably snipe take that Lord, and it's gonna be Bolivia picking up the second Lord of this game.
This might be the Lord that will push the series to a 3-game series. And let's see, will Bolivia be able to pull the trigger? Finds the right connection. Damage profile is definitely there. Peru,
Mhm.
will they be able to defend? Let's see.
Yeah, there's a WL has been pretty annoying here with the lantern flare. How can you dive right in when you get lifted up every single time? The inhibitor should be down. Look at the insane amount of damage coming from. Oh, the piercers are just stacking up one by one. Level 15 already. The Lord is marching in. Cable gets taken down. That's gonna be Fanboy looking for an opening. There is the Infernal Pursuit. The Lord is still up here. They're defending well as two. Oh my goodness, gets stripped.
Oh my goodness.
With the save of Valentino forced to back away. The holy defense by Peru. They're still up in this game and looking to close it out with a sweep. But of course, Bolivia is not going to make it any easy. It's going to be two inhibitors left here for the side. An almost wipeout and a maniac for Doom. I think at this point, the most damage or maybe the gold should at least rack up. That was a couple of pickoffs onto the key members here of Bolivia. So let's find that out later on. So he should be up there in just a bit. So yeah, that's something that they should consider here as well. The Bruno that has been constantly just farming it up while the rest of the members here of Bolivia has been also picking up the kills after kills. But looking at this, it is still Galetito with the most gold, just a 1k, at least a 1k diff up against Doom.
Oh my God. What a fight, Kimberly. I would thought that Bolivia was able to pull the trigger, and that was a maniac right there from Doom, which made them able to fight another day. Let's see, 45 seconds on the clock for that next Lord. Perhaps they might find a play, look for a play here just before the turtle,
Mm-hmm.
or Lord rather. And yeah, seems like with Doom already full items, they definitely cannot underestimate this Bruno.
Mm. Yeah, I think the Bruno and even the Granger here, what they're doing is pretty much like peeling and then going for Galatito's, full final execute, right? Like with the Piercer here. So that's what's really deadly here in this composition of Bolivia. But for Peru, right? Like if the Bruno just keeps on stacking up, keeps on free hitting these members of Bolivia, it's looking to be as deadly as what happened back there in the base here of Peru. Now this is gonna be the third lord that's up. Enhancement for both sides. I think it's gonna be crucial, especially for Peru. They wanna at least contest this one, but taking note that how much damage as well Bolivia is shredding out. It's not that easy to go into this Lord Pit. A lot of these ultimates are being used very early on, either to clear out the waves or maybe even poke up against the side of Bolivia.
Let's see, will they be able to poke the formation? Indeed, seems like it's even here. If we're talking about the Lord hands, that's a Mount Shocker though, providing the vision and giving in.
Oh,
Oh, that's the connection.
see how the shutdown to do what they wanted to get the shutdown onto Fanboy as Galatito kicking off one by one. They do get the shutdown with Lionel, but it's only Sexy Cake. And Lionel left to defend. The Sexy Cake doing his best to buy the time, and he lost but gets lost. I think we're gonna be having a match. They no longer need the Lord. They got the wave here with Lionel, but I don't think it's enough for him.
Oh
They're
no.
going again. Boom, the burst. Way too much. One team fight just like that, but there's not enough minion waves. It's 1 point HP. They're doing this methodically. Doom should be up in a bit, but there's so much minion waves, and that's gonna be it. Bolivia will take us to a game number 3.
Woohoo! As expected, a full 3 games in Bolivia. What a way to win it, It's such an entertaining, and they displayed again a good quality of Mobile Legends and a well-deserved win from Bolivia. Man, Kimberly, it's 1-1 now. Even from the highlights, it's just so back and forth, right? Rushi was able to provide the influence in the early game, particularly the Bravest Fighter, just zoning members. The Peruvians, man, they know how to team fight. That is one thing for sure. But I feel like just Bolivia, they were able to recover. I think around minute 13, that was really the main turning point, Kimberly, where Bolivia was able to just find their rhythm here. So, yeah, this was the fight here. Galetito already got the Sky Piercer, mind you. And sure, it's even Stevens, but right here, I believe after Nico got the Lord, so it's minute number 10, not even 13. This is where Bolivia got their full momentum. Sure, it was a defense, right? Doom got the Maniac here. A very, very great defense, mind you, but it wasn't enough to find the win, unfortunately for Peru. They got the
Those
Maniac,
are
they defended, but yeah. But here, this was K-Boom
yeah.
as it at its finest.
The man of the hour. I think if it was Luchi that was zoning out the members of Bolivia in game number one, it was Cable. I was actually wondering how he was gonna pull this off, right? The Badang up against the Khalid and the Lapu Lapu, but you know it was the concealed play. It was catching them off guard, and majority of the time, it was always either Lionel or Duke that gets caught in between the fist crack. And that last one was the nail to the coffin there for the side of Peru. It was over after that one setup, and all care of Cable with this Badang that had that one final set that just changed the tides here for Bolivia. Actually, stretching it out to game number 3 here for this best out of 3.
A very, very, you cannot really script this well, but this is even like more perfect, right? If you think about it, 1-1, 17 minutes of game time. Beautiful, 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 and now this is where we can see who can shine under pressure, Kimberly. But if we're talking about a game 2, I think all eyes on Granger, right? Galetito. I think his positioning was just beautiful. His positioning, and of course K-Boom, that final set was beautiful as well. Well-deserved win from Bolivia.
Yeah, you've been hyping up Bolivians from the start of this matchup, and they definitely did not disappoint. We're going to game number 3, and I think what is to be expected, especially in of course, the final day of the qualifiers. There's always something explosive. I think this was one of it. I was wondering how the Batang will be pulled off, but K-Boom did it so well. Galatito was not able to play as the Moskov in that first game, but I think in this game number 2, he definitely um, had his fair share of wins. But for now, it is going to be a game number 3, and what way to close out, of course, the last day without a game number 3. This is still the first BO3. We're going to be heading over to the last match in just a little bit. But for now, Gani and Kim, we're going to be taking a short break first. Don't you guys go away. When we're back, there's going to be more action here, Mlbb action in the World Esports Iesf American Qualifiers. We'll be right back. You're watching the World Esports ISF American Qualifier. Still with me, Kim, and Gani bringing you the action. And we're down to our last match between Peru and Bolivia. And what a day it is without the final game number three. I think you can't just call it the last day of the qualifiers without a game number three. And I think Bolivia just live up to the hype that Gani has been giving them since the start of this stream, and I think they really lived up to it in that last match. And hopefully, let's see what the tempo is. Like again, this is going to be a clean slate for both sides. Restart, then whoever
Yeah.
takes this game, that's gonna be it. That's gonna be it. It's difficult to pull off a reverse sweep. Very much possible with Bolivia's momentum right now, but I think for Peru, they just want to get in at least another win and end the day with at least a 2-1 up against Bolivia. So let's see. For this next match, it's the last one for the series.
I mean, it's back to a best of one, all right, between them. So they gotta hit the reset button here. I feel like the team who had a better reset will win this game, and it's going to be very, very crucial. Remember, right? Bolivia, they showed up strong yesterday, but it seems like Peru, they are no pushovers. I had no information regarding Peru, and seems like they are also very, very strong. They displayed, again, great qualities of Mlbb in that first game. Unfortunately, in game two, they weren't able to. I think they got overwhelmed, all right, from the aggression that was given by Bolivia. But hey, now I think Peru, they know how to counter. Remember the Baksha. I think it's just another hero to know, a very important hero to be focused on, right? You need to ban the Baksha. They did in game two. Will it be open this time round? Especially if Peru got the first pick. It was the hero, one of the heroes that got them the win, especially if you combine it with Angela. It's such a nasty, nasty combination. Though I like the adjustments from Bolivia. Harith ban, I think that was also a ban where, game one, it was really, really hard to deal with the Harith. Let's ban it game two. And it seems like with the mascot, with the Bruno rather, they weren't able to dish out the same impact. Doom,
Mm.
great player, good, but the influence that he had on the Bruno and the Harith is definitely evident. It's so different. So yeah, another hero that should be focused on Bolivia.
Mm. Yeah, I think the Angela Harriet wasn't like spared in that draft for the
No.
second game. I mean, the Angela came very late. Like that ban was like I think one of the last few bans that
Yes.
Bolivia had. So I think it's just again the team of Bolivia. They just get all their bases covered. I think that's what I'm getting from them in the draft, right? Like they think we think it's like a jungle baksha, but they're like, nah, I think that's like a roam baksha or maybe an XP baksha. So I think them having that kind of mindset really kind of influences the way that they draft also. So I think they don't want to just assume that that's it. But I think the game of MLBB, that's just the beauty of it, right? Like
Yes.
having these flex picks in the first for the first for if you're the first pick. Baksha I think should be a ban that comes through here for Bolivia, knowing that Peru is going to be on the blue side and knowing that they won't ban that away. I think that should be one of the things they should keep up in the ban list apart from the CC.
All right, all right. Will it come through? I'm sure the Baksha ban will come through, but now seeing their gameplay, will the CC be left open here? Right? Yeah. I mean, we called it. It's on their radar as well. The Baksha too overwhelming. Peru last ban. The Zushin
Yeah.
definitely can come through. And you mentioned the CC. They did this in game one where Peru, they got first pick and they ban out the CC. Will that approach be replicated here, or will they take a turn? Maybe what they're saying is, I want the CC, so I'm gonna force Bolivia to ban
Two
the
ban,
CC
yeah.
out. Yeah, because technically, the Yixin Shin is still on the board, the Arlet is still
Yeah.
on the board.
Oh, there you go.
Peru says, you know what, the Yixin Shin, let's just ban it out.
Yeah, man, you were just talking about the Yisun Shin. This was a spam Yisun Shin by Nico for the past two games. I think regardless of win or loss, I think the Yisun Shin, great vision, great damage
Yep.
overall, which is why a lot of the teams still prioritize it. So the Harriet and Baksha, wow, you can still see the effects of the
Yep.
Baksha and the Harriet, especially in this in game number three, right? They still banned it away. They pick up the Lancelot here. So Bolivia, the Gatot Kacha is open, by the way. I think they've been banning it away. CC also is still open, by the way.
Yep.
Zushin CC. Zushin Angela, if you want to make it more, yeah. Oh, they completely ignore the CC and still go for the. Okay, it was a game changer, right? The Infernal
Yep.
Pursuit that really helped them out in the team fights in game number two. So I think they're going to replicate that success, which means Peru can still pick up the CC here.
And with the first one, right, it's just so good when it's against
Oh,
Lancelot.
no.
Perhaps that's why. And we mentioned we
Yeah.
called to Angela as well being one of the like difference makers, right? It seems like
Oh,
now
wow.
with the Uranus Open, Peru's like, hey, this is a nasty combination we got going on here. You know, Angela Uranus is gonna really push us down. Bolivia though, calm, instant reaction there, picks up the joy. It seems like it's gonna be comfort. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's gonna be a
Yeah.
classic battle between assassin versus assassin here. Lancelot will
Mhm.
take on Joy for our final game in this match.
Yeah, I think this is very telling also. Like Bolivia was very much prepared to give away that Angela. Like it was almost an immediately they immediately responded with the joy, which kind of like signaled that, okay, yeah, it's gonna be the Lancelot. Usually the counter out for the joy is the Fred Rin on the jungle, right? But being the Lancelot, being the prio pick here, I think it's very telling of what Peru wanted to have with their lineup. They take away the Badang also. That was
Yeah,
a game changer. Oh my
K
gosh,
boom.
K Boom with that. K Boom, the man of the hour for game number two that just changed the tides. And this is the reason why we're actually having a game number three. I think this is
Yeah.
respect. I think for both teams, they've respected all of the comfort picks that has been tossed out for both games. And I think this is just a great way to answer it. They need to ban away still the mid lane, and the Farsa is still up here for the taking for Peru. Not unless they're gonna make it like a mid lane Angela and maybe another kind of roamer like a Lapu Lapu. We've seen stuff like that, or maybe even the Khalid, right? Like those are very aggressive heroes, but I'm not so sure with Peru. They're pretty much geared up to take anything at this point, right? They're very uncontemporary, very kind of aggressive with their lineup. So they take away heavy frontliners here for Bolivia, which is good. And honestly, going to be really difficult to deal with since they already have a Uranus to kind of shred apart first. And if you add another tank, that's going to be really hard.
Oh, yeah. You call it the tank, and then yeah, it's gonna be it's going to be very very tough if the Hylos is going to the Peru competition. Seems like the first pick on that second phase will be the
Oh,
Hilda though. So you know what, Bolivia, what they're saying is we want to pressure you, and Peru quick to respond as well. You want to
oh my
pressure us?
goodness.
You've got the heavy spin that can deflect your mobility, and there goes the Moscow again for Doom.
Wow, this is a lot of pressure though on Doom. That I mean, this is
True.
great overall if you're thinking about like getting the Moskov protected, but once Doom is down, where's the damage gonna come from? Like Sexy Cake, perhaps. If Lionel builds this Angela to be like a magic damage Angela, which is very much possible in this recent patch, right? Like he build up the magic items for the Angela, but Bolivia again very balanced lineup.
Oh,
They
oh,
pick up the Hanabi? Has this been picked up in the past few days? I mean, I ran out
no,
of oh
no,
my goodness.
no. This is
Yeah,
a
expect the
debut.
unexpected, but
Oh,
this is a debut and at match point at that, Gotti.
what
I was
flavor?
expecting like a Granger, a Bruno. It was still
Oh
up, but
my
wow, Hanabi. This is the starlight for this month. Okay, maybe that's a factor. It hasn't been buffed up, but hey,
wow.
great late game. I'm not so sure though in terms of mobility. There's so much heroes that you need to shred apart. I would think of like something like a Claude, right? Like that tech
Yeah.
carry even, but the Hanabi is way out there. I'm not so sure what the combo will be, but I think they're really banking on this, right? Last pick Hanabi to catch us all, throw us all, uh, yeah, throw us all like wow, really surprised here at this point.
My goodness, I did not expect the Hanabi of all heroes. Bolivia,
You got some balls, man. A ballsy move, ballsy approach, bold approach from Bolivia. But this is, ladies and gentlemen, the final game between Peru and Bolivia. Who takes the third and final game? It's me, Donnie, and Kimberly Maz at your service.
Wow, look at that. It's the championship skins on these two heroes on Sexy Cake and Nico. Beautifully, beautifully used here. That's the M2 Lancelot skin and the M6 Joy skin. So it's just goes to show that these two teams just want to get that victory for this last match. And again, a hard reset for both sides. As you can see, Bolivia already doing their best to kind of give the vision, especially if you're a Hilda. This is something that you'd want to do, right? Like the damage is also there even though you're rocking in the tenacity. This is I think Hilda is one of those heroes that you can often underestimate the damage, but when she comes right in, there's just so much damage coming out from the first and second skill here. So I think it's gonna be a matter of who scales up first, Nico or Sexy Cake on this. Like it's really deadly to see a Joy that just snowballed very early on, as well as a Sexy Cake with this Lancelot, which he has used twice already in this series overall.
Hmm. It's man, I'm still quite speechless to be quite honest with you. I'm Kimberly with that Hanabe pick. I don't know how to
Hmm.
how to feel. I love their approach, but man, bottom side though, it's 3v1 against the Uranus
Wow.
early. Of course, nobody can really burst that Uranus down.
Yeah, I think this is something that they need, right? The poke from the start, knowing that the turtle is going to be up, trying to delay that level 4 power spike from Rushi, but John Storm here as well. I think he can take on two, but that's gonna be Rushi picking up the level 4 first, so that means Peru has a much better angle here on this turtle as Sexy Cake already starting it up. It's gonna be Go picking that turtle up, and that's gonna be the first blood taken in, make that two for the side of Bolivia. And that's gonna go all wow, one kill and one assist instantly to Nico on this Joy.
Yeah, it's so apparent that Bolivia, they want to find the aggression early with the Phobias, with the Hilda, with the Zushin, just to provide that space. Oh, top lane, perhaps an interaction, but just a hard guard to provide support. Back to my point, right? I think they have tools to survive the early game with this sort of composition. And again, just leaving the space for Galetito to funnel. Again, minute 3 already funneling
Mhm.
gold towards Galetito. He
Yeah.
clears the mid and top. So he'll be in hopes to get
Mhm.
online quite soon and be a force to be reckoned with.
Speaking of the force to be reckoned with, that's 2.2k already instantly from Nico. Picking up the turtle and those kills and assists was a very big factor for just Joy. So I think for Peru right now, they got the yeah, like what you said, they got the tools to engage and maybe control this Joy. But for now, right, like they seem to be having a difficult time on where to rotate first, knowing that this Joy has scaled up pretty well in terms of the gold as well as been leading, and now Doom as well on the top side. I'm not so sure if you'll be able to survive that one. Fanboy as well being contained here by K Boom on this Hilda. And now it seems like Bolivia is gonna strike here. And that's gonna be the heavy spin by Fanboy as Sexy K gonna try to go in. That's gonna be Nico taken down as Peru instantly with the answer there. Such a good use of the heavy spin plus the entrance here from Sexy Cake. Finally, stopping this Joy from its tracks as early as now. That's such a good call to do. I mean, you wouldn't want a Joy to keep racking up the kills, and that's going to be the second turtle up. Doom here, getting in the
Oh,
heart guard and the shield from the Angela here of Lionel. But that's going to be the ultimate up. Rushi going to be tanking up all of the damage, but that's going to be Bolivia actually getting a much better positioning here in this second turtle.
okay. This might be an open one, right? I don't think they have tools to counter again
Mhm.
against the Zushin, of Ovius, and the Hilda. And the Joy, mind you. Yeah, it will be tough to find angles. It seems like Peru
Mhm.
will be okay to just let it go. Can see two turtles, but I don't see the compensation here. I don't think Peru is able to find, yeah, the trades, right? Make it worth it, and Again, Galatito is still untouched this game, so this Hanabi pick might work.
Oh wow. Even Doom here, oh, I'm not so sure. He's actually forced to. Oh, he didn't flicker out, just dashed out with a second skill. And yeah, this Hanabi has been so good with pokes. He got the Aegis at that too, so it's not gonna be so easy to take it down. Attack speed as well once it gets the items. But I think for Bolivia, they're doing such a great job containing in the jungle side. Even like you see the intimidation coming out from K Boom there. I think to a certain point, that's how they want to contain in that top side. But now Rushi as well. Wow, that's a lot of damage coming out from the
Uh-oh.
electrifying beats as John Storm picks up the final kill. The turret up top goes down as well, all to the side of Bolivia.
Wow. Again, uh, great connections, right, so far. It seems like they want to fight again here. Oh, that's the disengage. WL, though.
Mhm. Wow, that's a lot of magic damage and the ultimate popping out there for both sides, but not fully committing just yet, knowing that the turtle's gonna be up. Bolivia still has the upper hand here with the turtle kick, and wow, another turret down bot. It seems like Bolivia knows that the power spike is on their side as they continuously pushing in the turrets as much as they can, which gives them a much better positioning in the last turtle of the game, which they've secured at least both, right? They're looking to secure more, but now Sexy
Oh,
Cake, wow, struggling to take in his own purple buff. It's gonna be taken in here by WL to further sustain in these team fights. And now John Storm looking for an angle. He's gonna get tied up there by the Heart Guard. Gonna be slamming in. No casualties just yet. They're able to sustain, but this is the thing here for the side of Peru. They're able to sustain. Oh no, electrifying beats not gonna be going way too deep
nope.
in. There's still the minion waves. Oh, the outplay by Nico. Just waiting for the proper timing to go in. I love the respect as well that there was a turret there and they did not overcommit. And that's gonna be a free turtle to the side of Bolivia.
Yeah, it seems like Bolivia is just popping off here in the third game. Connecting on all cylinders, right? Oh, it seems like they want to go for more now.
That's going to be the Lantern Flare tugged in here by WL. John Storm going in for the possible Infernal Pursuit. Everybody taken down real low, but there's still the Heart Guard. They want that turret, the second tier turret, even before the Lord is still up. And mind you, the Hanabi here of Galetito hasn't shown its fangs just yet. But whoa, Fanboy there goes down in the hands of WL. And the Spear of Destruction goes right in, but it's going to be deadly to go up against 4. They get tugged right in. The Holy Crystal comes through here as well for Nico, reaching that level 2 as well. 5 kills, a relatively low one, but this is all about the macro gaming for Bolivia.
Definitely. And they will take it slow here. They know that they are ahead in goal, they are ahead in map, and they gotta pick their battles here. They don't want to overextend, increasing the odds of a blunder. A minute on the clock for the first lord of the game. It seems like so far so good for Bolivia. Peru, um, they're forced to just find win cons here through the Moscow here,
Mm.
connecting with the
Yeah.
SOD on the right time. And Sexy Cake.
Oh man. Okay, the Heart Guard is up here to save the day for Sexy Cake. But like what I said, the Heart Guard, there's all these tools, there's all these front lines, all for Doom to scale up. This is a lot of, I'd say, pressure, right? Like on Doom. I actually want to see the items of Lionel, maybe perhaps like building this Angela to be magic damage. But yeah, like what I said, so much utility, not so much damage. They're gonna have to bank on Doom again, which he only secured the corrosion site for now. So it's gonna be really difficult to pull this off because Bolivia, looking at the Hanabi here, that's the corrosion site and the Demon Hunter sword already picked up by Galetito as early as the 9-minute mark.
Very early. Um, and now we can see the Lord is up. Bolivia taking their time here, but they will try to use this Lord to definitely their advantage. And you know what? Their damage profile is insane already here. 9 minutes in. The Joy is farming like crazy. Let's talk about Galetito, still untouched. So, yeah, they definitely have an N angle despite this being the first Lord of the game. Now, Peru, do they have enough equipments and tools to at least defend and perhaps look for later fights, perhaps increasing their odds for a comeback? Let's see. Ladies and gentlemen, this might be the final push of the series. Can Bolivia
Or at
pull the trigger and find it?
Yep. I think they're gonna try to, right? That's gonna be John Storm. Oh, a little too deep in. Flickers out, but not to safety, and that's gonna be Doom picking up the kill there. They still have to melt down this Lord, knocking in the base, but look at the damage coming out from the electrifying beats. That's gonna be an inhibitor turret down, but WL gonna get taken down there by Doom as Galatito already able to free hit. You can see the damage coming out from this Moskov, but Galatito, oh,
Oh my
still
god.
has the hard guard. Doom goes in for the double kill. Sexy K gonna try to go in for more. There's the shield here from Cable. Still stuck in this bush, getting in that HP bars. They're able to stay for a bit, but not for long. That's gonna be Lilo picking up the kill. Nico forced to back away. Doom reaching at that level 4, but at what cost? That's all the inhibitors down here for the side of Peru, but still showing signs of life. That's 3-0-1 on this Moscow by Doom. But again, the same question comes right up after this. Is it enough for Doom to actually take in this game number 3? He already has the kills, he already has the momentum, but is this enough for the side of Peru to take this in?
Is it enough? That's a good question right there. And again, Doom, great job, right? He is also shout him out. Still deathless, right? Despite
Yeah.
his team is just so under farm, under rotation, under yeah, the rotation, and Bolivia now they will take it slow. They understand that, hey, let's
Mhm.
just wait for the next objective. All of the turrets are down for the side of Peru. Let's not overextend. Let's keep it tidy. And again, top lane is technically frozen, right? That lane. So Peru, they want that lane. They want to farm as well. So they gotta overextend. They gotta get out of their base just to clear that wave. And there you go. You can see Moscow there, and even Bolivia responding like, we don't want to pressure. We just want to freeze the lanes
Mhm.
as much as possible, just so the Peruvians are
Yeah.
practically starving farm wise. 15 seconds on the clock for that Lord, and to be quite honest, um,
Mhm.
I think they should just gamble here, right? Peru. I
Yeah.
think they should just gamble and force a fight here. Uh oh,
Uh-huh.
Rushi.
Yep, the heart guard is still right there for the taking, but oh, that's a whole lot of damage coming out from WL, and the heart guard comes through a little bit too early in, but that's gonna be the zoning out by WL and the heavy spin by Fanboy, but that's gonna be a mega kill by Doom, and they're gonna try to attempt and take this Lord. That's gonna be a whole lot of damage, but still Bolivia securing it. It was all just to buy the time. John Storm for the price of the Lord. I still think that's worth it for Bolivia. They don't have any more inhibitor turrets here for Peru, so this could be it. Not unless they're
Oh,
gonna clap back here in this situation.
oh
There's the
no.
SOD. The immortalities are up. Doom is unstoppable at this point, and now K-Boom gonna get the brunt of the damage, but they still have to stop this Lord. But this is the power spike that they know they will be able to clear this up. 3 members down for the count, and now that's going to be the level 15 reached here by Doom. I think they should also be able to take down the outer turrets here, maybe perhaps the third, but yeah, this is Doom again, going right in, dicing in, but they got to be extra careful. Even though there's the heart guard, still the damage is up. Nico popping in that electrifying
Oh,
beats, and the spears coming through and through, and the heavy not enough to take down John Storm, but Doom is still alive and kicking, standing at 602. I think they're banking on this Moskov that can actually kind of clap back when it reaches this 14-minute mark of the game. 9 kills for the side of Peru this time, still keeping up with the tempo of Bolivia.
hey, you know what? We just called it here that, yeah, they're relying solely on Doom and making the sort of connections with the help of Lionel with that hard guard. It just allows Doom to be more, aggressive and also just be a threat, pose a threat for the compositions of Bolivia. Take a look at the economy. It's not that far now. Yeah,
Mm-hmm,
it's definitely comebackable, but the
mm-hmm,
only issue with Peru is that the structures, right? 3 base turrets are gone, means that the minions from the side of Bolivia will
mm-hmm,
always be pushing to their main base. And if Bolivia keep it
mm-hmm.
tidy, they definitely can find a backdoor play, you know, backdoor angle rather. So
Yeah.
yeah, if it's a raw 5v5, you can't count Peru out just yet, especially with Lionel just able to
Mm.
supplement
Yeah.
Doom and perhaps, you know, if it's Sexy Cake, I think it's worth it. Those
Mm.
two, just those two, I
Yeah.
think it's worth it. Doom or Sexy Cake
Yeah.
depends on the
Yeah.
situation.
Yep, it's gonna be a tough decision for Lionel there, but I think at this point, with how much Doom is with how much damage Doom is dishing out, you're gonna have to really bank on Doom, right? Not unless it's gonna be the Lord take, but again, you want to keep your damage dealer very much protected. I'm also really impressed with the wave clear here, or the wave management here of Bolivia. It's almost also good that Doom can't go too far with the split pushes here. He's almost always just contained at least like 1/4 onto the map, not too deep in, right? And this is one good thing that Bolivia is doing to keep up with the tempo here. But look at Doom again with the
Oh,
SOT. Still got like Galatito. Gonna be getting the brunt of the damage now. Here comes the heavy spin with the Winter Truncheon play here by Nico, but that's not gonna be enough. As Doom gonna go in for more. The endless Doom, the endless nightmare here for the side of Bolivia. Looking in for a clapback, but they're gonna take as much as they want. Peru right now alive and kicking. The flicker has been used though by Doom here, so that's one battle spell up, but that's gonna give them a whole lot more confidence to take this in. But look at the positioning of John Storm there. They're gonna have to wait this out, but I think this should be Peru's, right? Not unless there's gonna be an immense steal from the backside, but that's gonna be it. Peru taking in this Lord, and this should be enough to at least take in the side turrets here that Bolivia has been taking in for the past few minutes of this game.
wow, what a comeback, man. What a comeback. You know, it feels like Kimberly, the game one,
Hmm.
it's like happening
It's
all
pretty
over
much,
again,
yeah. It's
right?
it's on replay right now.
It is on
Doom is is
replay.
is clicking that replay button here right
Yes.
now. I mean,
Yeah.
man, I mean, look at the stats here. Galetito 0-3-1 at the Hanabi and a 7-0-3 on the Moscow. I mean, you really cannot deny the late game potential. Plus the Angela. I mean, if this wins, this combo wins, this is the winningest combo ever. The Angela, it pretty much kind of justifies the buffs that it was given. I think it was a little bit too much, but overall just really good for all the Angela users out there. Supplements so much of the Moscow. And if you look at the gold here, Gani, it's 52K already for the side of Peru. But then again, they know who to target here. Doom
Oh,
SOD again. Wait, gonna better brother the damage, and that is gonna be Doom still alive and kicking, still up and kicking with the immortality. But the rest of the members here of Bolivia, they're going down. John Storm, the only one left here to defend. That's Doom, still legendary at this point, and with the immortality, it should give him a little bit more confidence to go in for the dives. The immortalities are popped one by one, and even Lionel on a killing spree. It's a wipeout for the side of Bolivia as Peru denies Bolivia of the reverse sweep and takes in the throne for this best out of three, closing the series with a 2-1.
Victory!
Doom, my goodness. What a player you are, and you definitely are becoming the Doom for Bolivia. It's a 2-1 win for the Peruvians, and my goodness, what a way to win it. Game 3, defending what early mid game, but then they found the angle to bounce back, and it's all because of the combination of that Angela and the Moscow. What a threat. You know, the first 5 minutes, even heck, first 12 minutes, it was all Bolivia. You know, this is where they shine. And yeah, after this mistake, after the defense with this Lord,
Yeah.
it is just all blanks from Bolivia. Sure, they got all 3 base turrets, but again, we called it as well that Doom, as long as he's fine, he's able to be a threat, and that is what happened here. I think
Yeah.
after that defense, Peru, they know the winning condition, and,
Yeah.
and simply it's just hard guard to Doom.
Yeah, man, this was the same case we've seen in Yeah, even Super Marco. Yeah, this is one of the kind of like a replay coming in. Like you really cannot deny the Moskov of this. I mean, I'm not so sure what the idea or the combo that they were trying to go for with the Hanabi, right? Like you cannot deny it's also a great late game, but look at how Doom was just relentless with the chase. I think this is just again, ladies and gents, you cannot deny the Angela at this point. This current patch, it's just the winningest combo that you can ever get. If you're ever just tired in rank games, just get an Angela, get a really good teammate, and this is exactly what will happen. You supplement that teammate, and this just enabled Doom to do so much, right? The immortality plus the hard guard, it enabled him to do that SOD even onto 5 members. It's insane the amount of confidence that he had
Yeah.
to be able to bounce back. We did say it is a very risky move, right? Like all of the cash will be on to Doom, but he really did cash out well. He cashed in on this particular match. Well, I think in that base, and it was enough to seal the deal for this game. 8-0-7. I don't think they were able to pick him off by the time he was able to reach his peak. And I think this is a Moskov without the boots, so you know how well they wanted to win this game very much. Just going in for the full damage items and getting in that immortality for that extra survive. But ladies and gentlemen, the Angela wins games for this current patch, and I think it just gives a little pat in the back for all of the roamers out there. It's just really good to see this kind of lineup overall. It just is, one of the most underrated roles, but at the same time, it just really enables the entire team. What a clapback here from Peru. It was not easy, a hard-fought victory from both sides, but Bolivia, definitely it was. I definitely weren't surprised that they were also the ones who took down a powerhouse like Argentina.
Man, it was beautiful, beautiful display, beautiful match. Overall, we got a little bit of everything here and there. Game one, offense, beautiful defense. Same in game three. It was even a better defense because 3 base turrets were down for the side of Peru, but they were able to find just their win con. And yeah, unfortunately for Bolivia, they were able to pull the trigger and bounce back, even after winning the first 10 minutes of the game. They weren't able to close it out, unfortunately. But hey, you know what, Kimberly Maz, the first match was a banger. I personally can't wait, for Ecuador and Dominican Republic to battle it out in the best of 3 style as well. It will still be me, Donnie, and Kimberly for that match, but we will take a short break before. So guys, please stay tuned.
You're still watching the World Esports ISF American Qualifiers with me, Kim, and Gani still bringing you the action here for our last BO3 for the day. Earlier, you've seen a 2-1. So if you guys missed out on the match, that was a 2-1 in favor of Peru up against Bolivia. And now we're going to be having our last match. It is going to be, of course, Ecuador versus the
Dominican
Dominican
Republic.
Republic here. There you go. Right on cue, right on cue.
Right
Thank
on
you.
cue
Thank you so
indeed,
much,
Kimberly.
Shura. Thank you so much. Man, I
But
mean,
yeah,
I still can't stop thinking about that last BO3, Gani. I mean, Angela. Angela, I mean, there were several times it was adjusted, it was nerfed, it was buffed, but I think this is probably one of the best buff it has ever received. I think one of the main things about Angela's, right, like was the ultimates having a longer cooldown time. But man, oh man, that was such a good match. I'm still reeling from it. But let's take a look at the roster here for Ecuador. It's Captain Wolf, Nikolai, Rosa, Sherlock, and Stone that will be playing here for Ecuador.
yeah. Expect again. Just we saw the Hanabi pick, by the way, Kimberly Mas. We saw the
Mm-hmm.
Minsatar pick yesterday as well. So, Ecuador. I think, hey, bring your flavor. The Ecuadorian flavor to this match as well. Bring some unique picks. Whether it
Yeah.
works or not. It's for later. It's a later for it's a problem for later. But hey, let's see
I
the
mean, they got Wolf
opponent,
and
right?
Rosa, right?
Yeah, they
They got
got
Wolf
Wolf
and
and Rosa,
Rosa.
Capitan. Definitely. And Dominican Republic, though, will be Juno, One Instinct, Ricky, Shadow, and Diamond. Now, I got the privilege to saw a couple of their games, actually, I believe, right? With the Dominican Republic yesterday. And
Yeah.
yeah, unfortunately, Dominican Republic, they lost their match against Colombia on the
Mm-hmm.
first day. So again, that means this team needs to adjust, and I feel like Diamond, their goal laner, definitely needs to step up. Based on that
Mm-hmm.
match. So let's see, will he be able to step up and shine like a diamond in this match? It will be tough though. It's not a clear win. So I think these two are on the same par, on the same tier, which
Uh-huh.
again could go either way.
Yeah, I think at this point, this is the best way to kind of showcase what you got, right? Like, especially when you're, even if you're going up against a better team or the team the same tier as you, you really just gotta show all you got and maybe see like what your limits are, right? I think this is the best way to show it. And for everybody else who missed out on the matches, either earlier today, yesterday, you guys can check out the results on iesf.gg if you guys want the um, full recap of what went on. But for now, Dominican Republic and these two teams, I think it's a matter of taking in all their matches, all their VODs yesterday, maybe taking in some of the picks that they have been spamming. I think that's a certain thing to consider. Plus the I think the adjustments also on the picks for the Rome. I
Yeah.
think the Angela has such a good um percentage of win, all because of the cooldown of the ultimate. I think that's such a huge factor in team fights, especially when you're up against like a big damage here. I think the Angela's win rate should kind of soar up, especially with this recent patch. The roamers are now having such a big impact on the overall lineup of the team, and I think that's something that these two teams have to consider as well coming into this first game.
Hey, I think the Angela can definitely be a difference maker. We saw that it was one of the reasons, the key reasons why Doom was able to just pop off on the Moskov so confidently, because he knows that, hey, I got a hard guard in me as well, with the extra shielding, the slows as well, that is able to give out from that, to be given out from the side of Angela. It's just too much. And yeah, I think Angela definitely can be uh, the main focus here in this current draft. But let's say, I think one of the picks that is also a very very strong pick is still that Baksha. The flexibility, and the early threat. I think the shield unity, the rotation is also definitely a threat for the opponent, because it definitely can come from all angles, by the way, which sometimes can catch you off guard.
Yeah. I mean, I think overall it was just really good. A really good buff. I would say this is a super buff for it, although there were some compromises that were made in, skill 1 and skill 2. But hey, overall, great buff. I think teams should start, maybe if not prio in the first drafting phase, first half, they should either take it in, especially if they want to go for that more mobile, more utility type of lineup. But hey, it's man, today has been such a crazy day for Gani. I mean, he wakes up, he casts MLBB, he goes to bed, wakes up again and casts more MLBB. I mean, you're living the life, man. You're living the life of most of our viewers here. You just get all the action firsthand, and I think it's such an honor to be casting, all of these games. I think it's a treat, especially I think for both of us who has seen like the best of the best in MLBB in our respective regions. But coming in here to the American qualifiers, I think it's really no different, right? Like all of them are definitely keeping up. I'm
Yeah,
surprised they haven't picked anything too out of the ordinary. I mean, apart from the Mincetar and the Hanami we've just
yeah,
seen, but overall they really have a great understanding of the game, and hopefully we'll see more of them, in the future if they
yeah.
look to compete even more or maybe even get to greater heights.
Hopefully they can definitely inspire more players, more active players in their respective countries to perhaps, hey, I think that just to grow the scene of MLBB and increase the numbers. And you know what, maybe who you guys are watching right now, maybe next year or perhaps in the next 2 years,
Oh yeah.
you might represent the world stage, perhaps for IESF or your own country, and that's a big deal as well. So, you know what, Kimberly Maz, I hope the American regions also, the other
Yeah.
countries as well, but now specifically for the American regions, hopefully they can grow the MLBB scene just to have more active players, just to keep things more interesting. And yeah, like Peru, like Bolivia, Bolivia surprised me yesterday, but now seeing Peru, oh, they managed to defeat Bolivia. So again, it's just still so competitive and still on par between each other. Now, will it be the same here for the next match? Like Dominican Republic, and Ecuador, are they on the same tier, or perhaps maybe we might see a slight gap? And let's say again, may the best team win. And now, after seeing that, Hanabi, Kimberly, do you want to
I
say
mean,
anything? Maybe do you expect any
uh,
other
you
heroes?
know, if they plan to bring it out, maybe bring it with more heroes or maybe perhaps a roamer that can really aid the Hanabi. I think, I was looking for more of like it wasn't really that surprising. I mean, usually we'd see these heroes pop up in, certain qualifiers. And I think
Yep.
it's no surprise that a lot of people are very comfortable with the Hanabi. I mean, it's apart from the Layla, it's one of the first marksmans that you actually get to use
Yeah.
or the game actually gives you. So I think it's very straightforward. I think that's the kind of gameplay it has. Once you have the items, you can really dish out a lot of damage. But I think what I was looking for earlier is like, what do they pair up with the Hanabi? Because they were rocking the Hilda, but what do they pair up with the Hanabi? Usually I'd see combos like Hanabi Angela, Hanabi Lolita. So I was hoping for something like that, right? Like the
Yeah.
combo should be there. I mean, you can put out all these really great heroes, but with the synergy, with the synergy gap was really there. I mean, for the roamer and the gold laner earlier. Not that their skills were lacking. It's more of the combo of their heroes. It does not synergize. Where the Hilda wants to kind of go all the way in, give vision. The Hanabi wants to more of like stay in the back lines, get a whole lot more shields. And I think the Lolita would have maybe perhaps made a difference. Hopefully, like have more
Yeah.
shields for the Hanabi. But yeah, I was looking for more of that. Like where's the uh where's the combo? I want to see more of that. I think in this next bit, best out of three.
Let's see, right? I really like your point, the combination, right? It's either or, we saw what K Boom and uh, John Smith, right? The
Yeah.
EXP. There's also a pair and playmakers. Sometimes you connect with the gold laners as well alongside the Rome, and you saw the connection between the Angela and the Moskov, right? Between Doom and the Angela. So maybe we can see that sort of connection or that sort of synchronization for Ecuador and Dominican Republic, and perhaps that might win you guys games as well. On your RG, on your rank games. So make sure that your draft is connected,
Yeah.
is in harmony to have better odds. But hey, let's see. Will it be another assassin versus assassin here for these two? I really hope so, because if assassin versus assassin, Kimberly, it's just so action packed.
Yeah, it's a super brawl all out, right? Like one one row is just straight for brawls. I mean, you've seen it in the previous matchup. It was kind of brawly in the second game, but yeah, I mean, who doesn't love an assassin versus assassin matchup? I think both you and I, Gani, know that very well in our respective regions. It's all about the action packed games, and hopefully we'll see more of that. But I also do love to see a whole lot of utility coming out, like Fredrin's. I know it was banned away in the previous series. We haven't seen it pop up just yet. I mean, it's so good with the Angela right now. It's shades of previous patches where the Fredrin and the Angela did very well. I mean, this gets me also excited, right? Like, there's so many possibilities with the Angela. Maybe
Yeah,
that's why it's the support that actually has the most skins in the game. Come on, like every single year, Angela probably has like two or three skins.
that's
You have
true.
to agree
That's
with me.
true.
It's like either collab skins or maybe even an epic tier skins. It has it all. I mean, this is just a proof of it. I think it's gonna get a whole lot more skins after this buff. But super fast first fans coming out here. Ecuador on the blue side, Dominican Republic on the red, Selena, and the one that has been perma banned, by the way, since the start of the stream.
Yeah, seems like I want the deal with
Let's hear
this
from the crowd.
setup,
Make
and
some
Ecuador
noise for yours truly.
out the CC next. Dominican Republic, quite direct. The 1-1 is still a threat if you're on the
Yeah.
red side, and
Butterflies born by thy wish, guided by
Dominican
lantern
Republic.
flight.
But hey, they took their time. They first banned the Zushin out. Ecuador, what's your next move? What do you want? The Angela first pick, is that too greedy though? Is that
I think
approach
it's
too
so
greedy?
telling. Yeah, it's very telling of like what you want to happen, right? And now I think overall it's still good, but there's just so many heroes that you can prio. I think a lot of the teams still go for the Yisun Shin Lancelot first pick. Baksha is also another thing to consider. And now with the Yisun Shin last ban here for Ecuador, Dominican Republic might want to
Hmm.
go that route, right? The Baksha overall
Yeah.
really good, very
I hope,
flexible.
but the two
But
flash
Angela,
Ooh.
yeah, we've
affections.
been talking about the Angela nonstop ever since that last series. I mean, come on, it was the game changer. It was the winningest combo. But now the Baksha is open here. Will you still actually pick it up without the Angela though?
I think it's not bad, right? Of course, it will be a big threat with Angela, but even without, I think it's still a solid hero. With the rotations, with the flexibility, can definitely put in the Rome position as well. But Ecuador here seems like they're taking their time here, so it's not an instant Baksha pick. What are they going for, or what are they discussing about? Because
Arlot?
technically, Arlot is on the board
Mm-hmm.
as well, and again, Lancelot.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely
That's a lot,
an
yeah.
option for the jungler. If the jungler is more comfortable on the assassin,
Oh
go
yeah.
for it, and it will be the Lancelot.
Yeah, it makes sense why they banned out the Yisun Shin too, because that's the usual like combo that you see. The other
Yeah.
team picks up the Lancelot, the other team gets the Yisun Shin. So it's more of the burst damage, the scaling. I think that's what they want to avoid here for Ecuador. So again, the prio on the Lancelot, but is it going to be worth it? They got the Phobius here. I think it pretty much does its job when it comes to the team fights. Infernal Pursuit still very deadly at this point, even though they've revamped the ultimate. Still overall really good. They got that great AOE with the Farsa, and without the Zushin, I think they might just pick up another type. Like I'm not so sure if the Kadita will be an option here, or maybe they still want to go
Ooh.
for AOE still. CC is sorry, the CC is out, so they still can go the route of picking up another XP laner to go head to head. Arlot still good. The Grok that usually slips up in the first banning phase, but most of the teams ignore it. But this time Ecuador
The
picks it up,
southern
and
seas are
okay,
my
wow. I
domain.
was just talking about the possibility because that's usually what you'd want to answer up with a Farsa. And this is a deadly combo. Grok, Kadita. It's very deadly once you trap these heroes of Dominican Republic in the right spot. It can be such a deadly combo.
definitely a lot of burst. All right. I mean, I think Ecuador
Yeah.
is saying, okay, you got a burst hero in that Barca. Let me burst you down with my Kadita. Dominican Republic, they stabilize here in that final pick of the first phase. They opted to the
Mhm.
Moskov. So again, someone that can definitely be a threat in the far lane. Can manage waves very diligently as well, and of course, the surprise attacks with the SOD can definitely be a threat. We saw that happen in that last series where the SOD almost always
Mhm.
lands. But hey, Dominican Republic, they understand that. You mentioned the Arlet, but I prefer the Uranus in that EXP. In Dominican Republic, they acknowledge that they will ban it out. Take it away. The possibility of a Uranus and the Grok, two big figures in your front lines, is
Always
it
on the
can be
way.
overwhelming. Ecuador, okay, they don't want the combination of that Matilda
Uh-huh.
Phobius. And mind you, the Baksha is still on
Uh-huh.
the board here for Dominican Republic if they want to go
This
that
land
route.
is our homeland,
I
and we
think
will
it's
soon
a
be
good
our
option.
burial ground.
Something along the lines of, I'm thinking like a Fredrin here, perhaps,
Fred is
or
also
maybe
good, yeah.
even
Yeah.
I'm thinking Akai, but will that be a bit too much for their lineup? I think Dominican Republic has all of their cards face up right now. I mean, there's nothing face
Need
down
no
at this point. Like
protection
it's
from the
pretty much
living.
straightforward where they want to go. The Baksha, like what you said, will be banned away. So I'm thinking of, are they gonna go utility with this kind of lineup
I
or
like the
full
utility.
assassin? Because
Muscle
yeah,
of
utility is
iron
gonna be good here
burns
for the
of
damage
steel.
dealers, but they lock in the Gatot here, which I think will be a roam. Rarely do you see
Yeah.
it used in the jungle. I mean, we've seen it perhaps maybe in ranking, so definitely not here. I think this should be the roamer, still leaving the jungler up in the air here. I think they're gonna have to wait for the last two picks since Ecuador still has not picked up their gold laner yet.
Yeah, they went for the safer approach. They want to see the two heroes because technically, um, an assassin pickup is still okay, right? But Ecuador, what will be the drafts here, especially for that gold lane? Will they bank on another hero that is bursty and can deal magic
Mhm.
damage, and that is the Harith, or will they say go Claude,
Let them
someone that
play
can
the
dive as
hero.
well?
Yeah.
Seems
I
like
will
they
finish
will
Wow.
what
go
this
for four
world
heroes that
desperately
can
needs.
dive. So
Priestess of
Yeah.
primal light,
they will go for
the hunter of
mobility.
all the evil
Wow, all
gods.
five heroes from side of Ecuador can dive the opponent.
Yeah. Yeah, and they got great AoE too with their last pick, which is the Iritel. I think
Playtime is in.
overall it's a very
It's
balanced lineup, but
Army
it's very reliant
time!
on the combos. But
Yeah.
Dominican Republic locks, and yep, this is what you were asking for, Gani. Assassin versus assassin. I think I like this kind of matchup. Like it's very high momentum,
Yes. Yeah.
high action when it comes to the early game, right? Like the Lancelot kind of wants to outdo the Joy, vice versa. They want to outfarm each other, and I think it's going to be very crucial here for both sides, especially in the early game. Pretty much what an assassin is supposed to do. I think yeah, they're going to be the ones to carry from the start, and hopefully their gold laners will translate. You did highlight Diamond, right? That he needs to step up in this particular game. Hopefully that will be the case if they do have a great early game here with their lineup here for Dominican Republic.
Well, let's see. Let's see. Guys, it's going to be the first game for the best of three. Um, Again, a very stable drafts coming from the side of Dominican Republic, but a very divey composition who likes to fight. But you know what? Enough talk, enough yap. Let's just jump into the line of dawn for our first game between Dominican Republic and Ecuador.
Hey, it's Lord Farquaad. Did you see that IGN? It's Lord
Oh yeah,
Farquaad.
yeah, yeah. It's
Oh
Lord
man.
Farquaad.
Wow. Yeah, on the Iritel. Man. Okay, so this time I think it's a little bit different here. Yuji Shadow. I'm not so sure, right? Like these are two assassins. In terms of overall picture, I think both of these can really go head to head. They both actually switched up. So the Lancelot here for Ryuji actually went for the purple. And as for Shadow, actually started with the red. Maybe perhaps, yeah, they're ultimately gonna find themselves in the gold lane. But there's a lot of pokes here by Mayan, actually utilizing this Grok so well. I'm wondering if that's gonna be. Oh no, it's not. It's not the Weapons Master Grok, but still enough damage. I think that's really it. Like forcing Ricky to actually back away from all of the pokes that he does, which actually gives Mayan a whole lot of gold here with the vision that he has been providing Ecuador.
All right, and it's a slow one, right, from both teams
Hmm.
here. You would expect a lot of maybe traps already with the Grok and the Kadita, but it seems like yeah, let's just play a standard early game and keep things tidy. All spells are still on the board, of course, it's apart from the retribution, but it seems like they want to make a move on towards Diamond. Able to keep the distance for now, though. Top lane, it's a 3v1 action. Millie, though, that's a taunt.
Oh
That's a
wow.
big one, and that will be first blood. Falling for the roamer. That's going to be Dominican Republic striking first on the board.
But I think they understand very well that this is Milito. If this is also farmed up, right, like up against the Phobes, it's not gonna be good. But look at this.
Yuji, that's a taunt. And that will be the end of Yuji. That's a knock-up, though. The first damage. Nikolai is level 4, baby. That's going to be instinct moving, engaging. Riki looking for the clear on towards the turtle. Is this the right call? June clears it. Wow, a little too close for comfort, definitely. But Dominican Republic, they got clutch.
They were at scrambles for what to do there for Ecuador. It was a nice attempt though, but I think June got that June 01 got in that turtle, if I'm not mistaken, for the side of Dominican Republic. I think this is off to a great start. They know where to rotate, give the space for Diamond to farm up well, get their XP later scale up. But wait, hold on, Mayen.
Real actually able to survive this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is all okay for now.
Yeah, that's an almost like a feathered airstrike enough to deal that much damage. What more later on? But that's costing June 1 actually a whole lot of mana there, forcing June 1 to just back away from all these team fights. But look at this, um, Dominican Republic not wasting any time as well, pressuring out Lord Farquaad here on the bottom side. And yeah, Diamond needs all the help that he can get, especially from the start. Like going up against an Irrital when it comes to the pokes, I think it's gonna be really hard. But for now, they're working it up very well. 2-1 is our score, relatively low, but I think they're very calculated when it comes to these team fights that they actually put out for both sides.
All good in the hood so far for, I guess, for both, right? Sure, Ecuador is a little bit behind on goal, but definitely have counterplays with the Kadira in hand, and Antico Dom already in the middle. Trying to find a setup, but the 2v2 on the bottom side of the map here. Oh, big tectonic charge. Ricky forced to use that revitalize just for safety. AOG finds it smart. Down goes Lord Farquaad. And that will be the Purify spell as well. That's going to be 2v1. UG finds a retribution, but that signal. The jungler from Ecuador has no retri. Now the structure in the bottom side looking juicy. And should almost fall here. Oh, yeah, there you go. The turtle is up. I don't think Ecuador has enough damage to find the counterplay.
Wow, that is such an early takedown on the bottom turret. And now Ricky taunts onto the UG. Okay, wow, and there's a feathered airstrike onto the back.
That's Nikolai though, looking for an angle. That's a 3-man petrify. That's a purify from Diamond. Ricky very low, trying to hold on. That's Milito and Ricky going down. Now, take a look at the back. Diamond dealing damage with the SOD that he lands earlier, but now it's all for Mayan. A big tectonic charge just to cancel Diamond. Instinct. And no man's land isolated, trying to hold on, perhaps looking for a kill. He will. That's going to be a trade. Milito going down. Still hold on. Instinct. Can you stop this guy? Shadow is able to find the rescue. Instinct will go back. And June has the final laugh there with a feather airstrike, finding a kill on towards Nikolai.
If that was Instinct, just doing... It's instinct to just keep on doing it. Like he was buying the time for Shadow to come in. That was like 4 members he was going up against. Plus, they took down one member of Ecuador there. Even getting in a kill as far as sustaining in that team fight. Plus, the turtle going to their side. So overall, they're doing so well. Wow, even onto the top side, Milito not gonna be able to survive in 3 members. As you can see, that's like, it's almost all the time like a 3-man rotation here coming out from the side of Dominican Republic, which really aids Diamond. But look at the feathered airstrike.
Wow, that's a solo kill, practically, right? It's a mid versus mid. And yeah, with the feathered airstrike, it's enough to burst Nikolai down.
In the top, it's just a 3-lane. The structure will fall here in the hands of Diamond as well. It's not a good sign for Ecuador and Dominican Republic. What an early game. 6 minutes in, almost all tier 1. There you go. All tier 1s are down from Ecuador.
Yep. Diamond is also 2 levels ahead, but whoa, the feathered airstrike, that's so much damage, Ricky.
Ooh, that's a stun. That's instinct again, going in for the killer instinct. He will be traded though. That's
more?
going to be the Furious Dive jumping in. Juno in trouble. No wings by wings. I assume AOG will not stun him. That's going to be June going down. Oh my goodness. Both mid laners rather taken down. That's the Furious Dive 4-step back. Ricky and Charo in the mid lane trying to deal damage, but is able to get out. 7 minutes in, we got a total of 17 kills.
Yep, that is at least like that was 3 levels ahead though for the side of Diamond. As you can see, you know, the Dominican Republic Diamond hasn't been joining these team fights. I think respecting a fact that he still needs a little bit more of these the time to actually get the items that he needs. We'll actually be seeing the items later on. But for now, you know, Ricky and the rest of the gang have been doing these intense taunts that really causes these early team fights right before like major objectives, right? Chunking down all these people real low, but I think they're gonna contest towards this purple buff.
Yeah, let's see. I don't think they will be able to contest the next neutral objective though. Take a look at the farm, Kimberly. They're so under.
Yeah, man. I think at this point, like even Ricky and Instinct have a way more XP. But oh, AOG.
That's the connection. AOG Nikolai going down first. Now it's a 5v4 technically, with Moskov is just going at the structure in bottom side. Seems like the counterplay is just a clear. That's a conceal. Black Dragon Form will be popped. Wings by wings though. In the back, just hovering around, waiting for the right timing to pop that feathered airstrike. And it seems like the call is let's not fight yet. Let's see though. It's still Shadow in the jungles of Ecuador.
I think what we're looking for is the initiation here from Ecuador, right? Like it's always almost Dominican Republic that goes in for the initiation, but here it goes. Instinct starting up the fight here, but they're not gonna go for more. I think for the side of Dominican Republic, they really are extra aggressive here. Like we're expecting a whole lot more tectonic charges from Mayin or the Furious Dive from Milito. They've been trying, but Ricky has always been, almost all the time, always ahead of them. As you can see, just going straight to 4 members here of Ecuador. We gotta see more of these aggression coming up for Ecuador, considering they have the dive lineup. There's the feathered airstrike. Okay. Yep, still clearing out. I think they're just really respecting for a fact that they do have the upper hand. But wait, Nikolai?
So D lands. Uh-oh, that's going to be the structure. Diamond joins in the fight. Nikolai pinned to the wall and will be taken down. 3 members of the board from Ecuador. And it seems like the tier 2 in the mid is looking quite juicy. Will fall here. The top Holy Shield will be triggered as well. So both top and mid, no, top and bot. The Holy Shield has been triggered, and that's a good sign. Pre-Lord, which will be up in 15.
Yeah, I just want to say Ricky has been doing such a great job with casting these AOGs. Like, you think that he's just going for the taunts here up against Ecuador, but no, he's actually using the taunts to distract Ecuador, knowing that he still has that AOG to access the backlines. That's what's making it really hard in these team fights. Like, Ricky is almost always 1 step ahead of Mayin and even Milito here. But yeah, look at this. They're able to sustain for a bit, then this gives SOD from the backside AOG.
Yeah, it seems like Ricky will try to engage this time. It was an attempt, but the Lord now should be their main focus here from the side of the Dominican Republic. It's all good, all right? Take a look at the lead, almost 10k, 10 minutes in, Kimberly.
Wow. 16 kills for, I think this is the most kills we've seen. Well, for this particular stream in the last 2 BO3s that we've seen, this is probably the one that has racked up the most. And yeah, 16 kills. Just goes to show you how ahead it is. But here comes Ricky again and the feathered airstrike. They're not gonna go for the engage, but instead gonna try to go and contest for this purple buff.
Let's see. Yuji still will clean up that purple buff with the retribution, but oh, Nikolai will fall. Now they will push their
like agenda, right? They want to apply more pressure. Milito, very low, the back will fall. 2 members off the board. That's more spark with the back shadow. Finds an angle to find the triple kill, and that should be it. Dominican Republic will have the wipeout in the first game.
Oh man, I don't think the death timers are up. I mean, it's just Nikolai, but how can you defend up against this?
No, you cannot, and that is why Dominican Republic will get game 1 in this first best of 3. Amazing display of Mlbb, and unfortunately, Ecuador could not keep up.
Yeah, man. I think that last team fight in that purple pit. I think they were attempting for something there for the side of Ecuador, but unfortunately, with how much Dominican Republic has stacked up in this entire match, you can see it in the highlights from start to finish. Consistent. I think this was the most kills we've seen so far for these last 2 BO3s, and it's just very telling of what they can do and how aggressive they can be. I think I was considering a whole lot more aggressiveness coming out from the side of Ecuador, knowing that they have a lot more dives, a lot more setups. But as you can see, despite all of that, right, like it has been Ricky. Like I really have to point him out at this game. Like he's done so well up against Ecuador. Like most of the time, they're soaking up all of their ultimates up against Ricky, and by the time he casts that AOG, everyone else from Ecuador has been exhausted already, and Shadow can go in for the final kill. Plus, the rest of the teams can counter engage up against them.
It was just a clean, sharp, and disciplined game from the side of the Dominican Republic. The coordination, right, has been going good for their side. And this land, the SOD lands here, not instantly, but take a look at that, the pin towards Nikolai, and then Nikolai's gone. Unfortunately, Kadira,
Oh, this was the last one.
This was. And after Milito here isolated in the front, it's just GG. No real threat from Ecuador. And of course, Shadow capitalizing on the positioning there, finds the triple. GG, well played.
I think sometimes you can underestimate how much magic damage the Farsa and the Joy can dish out simultaneously. I wouldn't be surprised. That's the Holy Crystal, the Genie, the 3 deadly combos that you can get from the Mage. I think to add it all up, if you can see the Shadows magic damage as well, the Holy Crystal and the Blood Wings. I think there's only Mayin that has the Athena shield. Milito yet has to build it. I mean, he's going for more of the sustain, the cooldown items. But by the time that June 01 and Shadow had the items, it was difficult to tank in from that. I think Milito tried to go in for the dives, but unfortunately the lifesteal was no longer there, wherein June and Shadow already had the items that they needed. 11 minutes in, I would say this is probably the fastest one that we've seen so far for today, for this particular stream, and I think it's a very, very telling sign of how dominant the Dominican Republic can be with this kind of lineup. Very overall well-rounded kind of lineup. Not really the dives, not very aggressive, but still was able to pull it off until the end of the game.
It was a pretty balanced composition, and their execution was proper. I gotta say, I think they understood that. Okay, let's commit to this fight, and they didn't. Let's back away. I don't think this is necessary, and they back away. The calls was clear. I feel like with the side of Dominican Republic based on the way that they're playing. But man, Kimberly, that was just the first game.
Yep, we're going to be going on to a short break. Gani and I will be back as we head over to the match point between these two teams. But don't you guys go away. We're going to be back with more Mlbb action here at the World Esports Iesf American Qualifiers. Don't touch that browser. We'll be right back.
Hey, it's 1-0 for the Dominican Republic side. And yeah, Ecuador got a lot to catch up to. It's back here with World Esports Iesf with Gani and Kimberly Moss. After seeing that first game, it was a really eventful one. And yeah, unfortunately, the clean, disciplined gameplay from this side of the Dominican Republic, it was enough to choke Ecuador down there. They weren't able to find their rhythm in that game, and perhaps they might find their rhythm here in the second game. It's 1-0 still, so let's see. The drafts, the execution, Kimberly, I think they need to step up here if they want a third game.
Yeah, I mean, for Ecuador, it was possible with Peru and Bolivia in the first series. I think it's definitely not possible, not unless, it's super outdrafted. And then, I don't know. I don't think that's a possibility because I think, based on the drafting that we've seen in the first game, they really have a very good understanding of what the meta is, or who's in and who's not. I think it's very telling that they've been playing for a very long time. They've been having scrims here and there, so I think it's not possible. But I think in terms of the adjustments, I'm actually curious who's going to be on the blue side and red side. I think there's a higher, so far it's a very high win rate on the blue side because it's almost 100%. Well, for this stream, okay, like in the match between Peru and Bolivia, it was 100% on the blue side. So let's see in this case. Like, I think having the first pick is very valuable, but I think for this series, the game number one didn't end up that way. So it was more of, yeah, having the next two power picks is a great answer. So it's a different story every series. Let's hope for the side of Ecuador. Hopefully they can take us to game three like what Bolivia did in the first series of this qualifiers.
They will definitely need a lot of, I think, coordination to bounce back here, or at least to match the pressure from the side of Dominican Republic. If they're able to, then yeah, definitely we might see a game three here. But let's discuss the drafts a bit, where that the Angela again still a priority, the Baksha definitely still a priority. Now, because of that game, do you think that the Moscow will, or maybe will there be a respect ban, maybe, rather, is my question, in the second game from either side?
The Moscow has such a good win rate. I think overall, right? Like it's a great. I think overall map. It's very overall map presence, like the Savior. Like it's pretty much like that. Global presence, damage when it comes to the late game. I feel like teams are just not putting it in the ban list because there's a whole lot more heroes. I think especially in particular for XP and the Rome, there's a lot of heroes to ban out, especially in the first phase, which always almost all the time leaves the Moscow open in the first phase, which we've seen the teams usually take in the first half. Rarely do we see it in the latter half. Like it's only like either it's a surprise pick or they want to try to counter out like a certain hero on the opponent's side. But I think the Moscow has done so good in these past few series that we've been seeing here in the American qualifiers, and I think maybe it should be a high prio for some of these teams here, especially for Ecuador, if they want to make some adjustments, maybe steal it away for this next match.
I like that idea. I really like that idea. I think denying that Moscow and just taking it away can also be a steal. It also can be from that steal pick. So we might see that happen, especially after that sort of performance. Such a threat, and the surprise attacks because of the Spear of Destruction landing. It just creates a lot of pressure for the opposing side, and of course the structures. They're gone quite easily when you have a Moscow on your team, especially the way that Dominican Republic played. Just creates the space for that Moscow to be the turret shredder. And let's see, and it seems like
I think
Kimberly Moss. There's
I think
there's a slight
the
announcement.
SOD, right? The SOD is such a big factor, but let's see. Like what you said, Gani. Yeah. Do you want to do the announcement, Gani?
So, Kimberly, ladies and gentlemen, there's something happened. Ecuador is dealing with bad internet, so I think we are going to shift our focus to the Colombia and Cuba side here. And mind you, Colombia won that first game.
Yeah, you mentioned Colombia in the matches up against both Ecuador and Dominican Republic, and so far Colombia has been rampaging through all of these teams. So let's look to see if they can close out on on Cuba for this last match, this last BO3 for their side. So
This is interesting. This is interesting. Now with Colombia having that first game, I wonder what will be the adjustments from the side of Cuba. And yeah, it will be Colombia taking on Cuba
yeah,
for the second match, technically, right? Will
Yeah.
it be Colombia
Yeah.
closing it out, or will Cuba find the equalizer?
yeah. Let's see. I mean, this is we don't have information what happened or what went down in the first matchup, but of course, let's take a look at the team roster here for Colombia. We got YT, Astro, Replic, Abyss Cutie, and Zeno 1 for the team here of Colombia. And they're going to be going up against Cuba, which you guys will see the team roster just shortly. And mind you, for everybody who just tuned into the live stream, it's actually Colombia versus Cuba. So Colombia already on a match point by the time we head over into our second game.
Let's see indeed. And yeah, I wonder, Cuba, which roster will they deploy? And it seems like it will be Megumin, Maui, Amadeus, Playboy, and Makarov. Those are the players that will strengthen the Cuban team. And man, Kimberly, I don't know what to expect.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is what's really exciting if you haven't seen anything just yet, right? Like surprise picks, pocket picks just come out. But I think so far with what we've seen here in the American qualifiers, it's just a matter of teams really have adapted to the new meta. They know what's up. They know who to ban, who to prioritize. It's pretty much the same name. Still, I think there's still a heavy prio, I think, on the Lancelot and Yi Shin, which is something we don't usually see too often in, let's say, in our respective regions. But here in the American qualifiers, it's such it's a heavy prio on the Lancelot, if not the Yi Shin. I think it's still the same case. The 1-1 has been perma banned also, so let's see if that's still gonna be the case here for these two teams in their second matchup, with Colombia looking to close this out with a sweep.
Ooh, 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 ooh. So now I just saw the drafts here, right? Kimberly,
Okay.
I got a sneak peek.
Okay.
But yeah, it seems like the Yi
Oh, yeah.
Shin definitely is gonna be prioritized here. And
Oh,
Cuba,
for sure.
If they let it go, definitely it will be a back-to-back Yi Shin play for the side of Colombia.
Yeah, we cannot deny. I mean, there's nerfs on the Yi Shin. I know for the recent patches. I mean, to think that it still dishes this amount of damage with the nerfs and adjustments that were made, it just goes to show why. I think it's still. It really never. I wouldn't say it left the meta. It still pops up here and there from time to time. But I think in this current meta, wherein a lot of these especially when the Malefic gun was introduced, a lot of these marksman items came out. Like it started to shine, and I think a lot of people saw the value of having the Yi Shin in the jungle, and then maybe having an additional marksman. Or it's very flexible, right? Like you could put a fighter in the gold lane, it still works out. You put a marksman in the gold lane, you got two heavy hitters already in the team. So I think overall it's very flexible on what you want to do with the entire lineup with the Yi Shin. Plus the vision it provides, I think that's one of the main things why I think a lot of the teams still pick it up right now, because you're going up against Zetian that has a lot of vision, Salinas also that provide a lot of vision. So I think overall a very good kit that the Yi Shin has.
Definitely a hero that they need to look out for, and also based on game one at least, right? I'm seeing the drafts as well. I think the Uranus, they need to figure this out, man. I think the Uranus popped off earlier, 0 deaths for him on that first game. So yeah, Cuba, I think they need to at least deny this Uranus pick. And
If not,
Hmm.
perhaps we might see a sweep. If they don't recover, if they don't adjust properly accordingly, it's going to be tough for the Cuban side. Seeing the results from game one,
Hmm. Yeah, a lot of power picks, a lot of comfort picks.
a lot.
The Moskov still popped up
Yeah,
in the first match. Did not have that much success, I would say. But let's
yeah,
see if I think it's still at least almost like more than 60 to 70% has been used in majority of the tournaments here and there. I think overall it's very good. Type of hero, we've been talking about it over and over again. It's just the damage. It's a lot to take in, especially if you're very comfortable with that hero. I think that says a lot too about like what heroes you should pick. And with a match point like this, I think for Cuba, just put out the heroes that you're comfortable with, not necessarily it's these are heavy metas. Metas actually work out. They're metas for a reason, but I think it's also important to consider if you're actually comfortable with using that
exactly.
hero, right? It can be powerful, but can you fully utilize it, right? That's the thing. For this case, especially you're going up against Colombia with a match point already.
Yeah, that's the thing. If let's say your play style, right, with the team is not suited for a certain hero or two, yeah, let's just not force it, and look for other heroes that maybe is not really meta, but at least you're really powerful in it. You're really comfortable with that hero, and perhaps that is going to be the approach from the side of Cuba going into game two. Now, again, if they keep the discipline here from side of Colombia, yeah, just play it cleanly, just play it a standard game of Mlbb, and just based on the result, I think they can just find the connection, just again, like I said before, I think before match one, even, if you got the early game, and keep things tidy, it's just the patch right now is so snowball that yeah, once you get what two
Yeah.
turtles, yeah, we saw a couple of comebacks, mind you, earlier with the Bolivia match, but
Uh-huh.
Bolivia Peru
Yeah.
match, but it's because if you blunder and if you keep it tidy, if you discipline, if the team is disciplined, I don't think it's easy to turn things around in this current patch.
Yeah, I'm looking at actually at the first game here on what the bans are actually pretty much very it also tells if the team is very updated with the current meta or not. But it's yeah very meta bans from both sides. It's not very far from what we've seen in the previous series. So there was a heavy prio on still the Uranus and the Yisun. So I think that's something that Cuba has to watch out for in the next match. They do get themselves like good heroes, but then again, comfort picks are just a different story to tell. I mean,
Yeah,
there's a lot of these people who are you've seen it in high ranks, Gani. I'm pretty sure like there's these players who just use these one hero and then they're just so good at it, like one trick hero. That could just be it. But
that's the
hey,
thing.
here's the draft. Colombia, blue side, very fast. Bands coming out. Angela, Exborg, and Cece for Colombia. And you got
Wow.
Cuba on
Let's go.
Baxia, Fovius, and stealing away the Kimi this time from the side of Colombia, and a Hayabusa for the side.
Wow, interesting, right? Colombia, they went for another approach here. And last pick for Colombia, what will it be? What do they lack here? They need someone that can burst. I like that export pick. I think it's an underrated pick. Why? Because it can deal true damage, and that immune
Mhm.
on that last insanity is just so annoying. So, needs the right timing though to really be an
Where
influence.
there is light,
But
there
yeah,
are
it seems like
also
Colombia. What they're
shadows.
saying is, you know what? Let's add teleportation to our composition, and that will be the
Wow.
Luoyi. That is actually very
High
creative.
risk. Very high risk, Gani. And I think with this being the match point, you definitely have to pull up all the cards up your sleeve, whatever you have there. But who? The Bane. I know this was buffed up, and it can get really hella annoying if it's full on like
Being gold.
sustain, like it's the hybrid Bane. But
Yeah,
it looks like yeah, it's a gold Bane. It's pretty much similar to the idea of having a Mincetar in the gold lane, a CC in the gold lane. It's very, very similar, right?
it
And
is.
the Bane scales up pretty well, can sustain itself pretty well. So going up against the Irrital, though I'm not so sure when it comes to the poke. You got the Crab Claw though, but I'm pretty sure this is a magic damage bane though. Yeah,
Yeah,
usually I
yeah.
think with the current patch it should be, yeah, magic or maybe even perhaps a hybrid damage bane.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a magic damage indeed with the gold lane. But hey, you know what? I think they're really comfortable with the Bane because game one they bring the Bane in as well. Did not really perform well, but it seems like they will adjust their approach here in the second game. It's a Bane back to back, and yeah, because of that first game, Colombia it seems like they changed their approach. They banned the Eastern Shin themselves, so yep,
Hmm.
this will be the
Yeah.
10 heroes that will be deployed for our second game. Kimberly Moss, are you ready?
Well, I'm definitely ready to see if this will close out with a sweep or not, but it's going to be Colombia with the surprise play on the Louis. I think this is I think with the adjustments and the nerfs that were made to Loy, I think it's still pretty much usable, but it's a bit more predictable right now. I think that just gives a little bit more leeway to the opposing team to kind of figure out where she's coming from. But I think it's gonna be deadly. There's so much crowd control. There's so many potentials for surprise play. You get the deadly catch onto the ultimate, right? It's gonna be so good. But wait, hold on, Gonnie. It's gonna be Astro taking that reload. There is going to be they're revitalized though for their side, so that is going to be no casualties just yet for both sides.
Nope, no first blood just yet here in the first minute at least. And yeah, um, at least now for Astro with the Baxia is able to
Hmm.
rotate fast. Um, First, for yeah, nothing too crazy here so far. Only after that interaction earlier, it's all good. Now with the Luoi though, it's good. It's great. It's
Hmm.
great burst early damage here at least, right? And with the teleportation,
Hmm.
you can get creative, but you mentioned high risk. Will that, you know, diversion be able to
Hmm.
come to fruition or not?
I think it's scary. A full item Irithel is just screaming surprises after surprises. But I love the pokes coming out from both sides. No commits just yet. So I think the most that they're doing is to poke. I think this is a good timing for the side of Colombia, though they've contained this turtle pit as a replic. Should have no problem with it. Proxy gonna try to do something about it, but that's gonna be the turtle taken in there by replic, and now that's gonna be the endless pursuit, and now they're gonna find their target. There's no Viraga armor. Ares commander
Oh,
taken down next to Makarov. 2 kills for their side, and now they're gonna go for the shadow kill. Menguin gonna be able to sustain for a bit with the shields up, but they're gonna take what they can get. The purple taken in, stolen away by Replic and the rest of the team. Clear W for the side of Colombia.
not a good start here for Cuba because they lost the turtle, they lost the purple, and this means that Makarov on that Xborg is going to struggle to match the early farm that Replix had.
Whoa.
That's the recalls, the Kill Me and Zeno. Just a standoff here
Yeah.
in the bottom side.
Yeah, I think it's the safe kind of standoff, but oh, standoff here. Astro. Wow, look at the damage onto Airy. That is like 2 hits from the shield unity. There's gonna be the diversion play up top, though. I'm not so sure if Delica Eto knows all about that.
Oh,
Still has the Infernal Pursuit up, but there's gonna be the Heart Guard to save the day. But here comes Replic. Okay, I'm not so sure if he can take that in. Has to watch out for the rotation diversion combo, but that's gonna be it. Cuba does pick off one, but now Zeno also has the upper hand here up against Kill Me.
I don't think Kill Me's gonna survive this.
Oh no, I don't think so. Wow, they're just diving and diving. I think at this point, like with how fast, I think they already nerfed down the damage output coming out from the from Bane's ultimate. It pushes turrets so fast, and it's already half HP bottom side. So 11K for the side of Colombia. Dominant start. I think even Replic here wants to try and go for the pickoffs here. He does have the shadow. A very early bait onto the hard guard, but I think it's not to worry at this point. Like it's just a 15-second cooldown, 20-second cooldown. Straight to the turtle it is for the side of Colombia.
Straight to the objective. Very, very disciplined here so far. So good. They only lost a member, and that member is just the XP. Technically, it's all good because he's a bruiser. That's gonna be the second neutral objective
Hmm.
collected, and
Yeah, Colombia are creating the tempo pretty well here. And now they want to take Kill Me Down again. Let's see if they
Yeah.
get it.
Oh no. Okay, there's a diversion combo onto two. Okay, I think they caught wind of what just happened down there. But Replic, he's not gonna permit it. He's gonna go in for the shadow kill a little bit too deep in. Dives right all the way out, and there goes the hard guard from the backside. Kill me, sustaining out all of the damage despite the threat under their turret. But I think Colombia's relentless. They're gonna try to go in for the conceal play. They're gonna do
Ooh,
it under the turret. What is diving right in as Astro gets that pick off, knocking down Kill Me on the bottom side, already suffering two casualties. This is just gonna give so much more opening for Zeno on the Bane 202 on this Bane.
man, what a connection, what a coordination there. You were right, they were relentless. And with that, three members off the board, that will be the first structure cleared from the side of Cuba. Colombia takes it. And seems like are looking for a jump here on the
Mhm.
jungles. Is this too greedy because
Oh
four
man.
members of Cuba is
What?
around? That's gonna be the steal.
Yeah. Replik got it. Wow, the retribution. Yeah, Makarov didn't even decide to use the retribution, right? Like they still do need to take that turtle. So it's a lot of these resources. They just keep on expending it up against the side of Cuba. And I think at this point, like Astro doesn't even care if there are turrets here. They're just gonna keep on diving. But wait, solo killed by Replic onto the bottom side. I think you cannot underestimate this Hayabusa at this point. And now there goes the Infernal Pursuit. It's gonna keep on recharging for now. AJ taking down Menguin. They're gonna go straight for the turtle here. The recalls are up. I'm not so sure if they're gonna go for more. This is like an all-out brawl, man. Like, look at this. Hard guard just to sustain all of that. I feel like at this point they're just gonna take as much resources as they can get. They're not gonna engage. Makarov does get that purple buff, but with the price of the retribution, they're not even gonna go for the turtles. They're just gonna go in for these objectives after objectives.
A lot of pressure already built up, and if they're able to maintain this lead, I don't think Cuba can stop this. Take a look at the
Mhm,
damage already. All right, the power spike has
mhm,
been hit. Now, hard guard spent. That's info.
mhm. Yep. Info utility used all the way up before the team fight even starts. I think the bait is just way too real. I think once Astro rolls in, like Cuba just uses up all of their ultimates, right? Just to deflect or maybe even I think at this point, like safeguard whatever they have as of the moment. It's just one kill, one clapback from the side of Cuba as Colombia has been getting kills after kills. I think they're relentless here on the turret dives. They're gonna keep on doing it as long as they can.
Yeah. Oh man, again, they're just clumped up in five here in the mid lane, and the structure, the tier two, will fall before we hit the 8 minute mark. And again, that's not a good sign. Oh, they want to fight.
Yep, there's the shadow kill. Okay, it's not all right. We all grouped up together, but they can go up against one here. There's the hard guard onto proxy once again. They're actually using the hard guard defensively, but right now there's the last insanity. Zeno a little bit too deep,
Uh
flickers
oh.
out to safety, but now Makarov a mega kill for the side of Replic, and now the deadly catch catches the backside as AJ will pick the final kill. Three members left here as Astro diving in and out, bobbing and weaving here up against the side of Cuba as Colombia keeps on racking up these kills after kills. I don't think they're even gonna try to go for this Lord with how far ahead they are. They go for the shadow kill
Oh,
again, Replic onto the backside. And still respecting the fact that they do have the damage, they're still the turrets, they're not gonna overcommit, but the middle turret is already out. Can they look to end this one? They got a Bane here. There's the Blood Wings as well. 14 kills to the board, Gotti. What can they do at this point?
I think they can. They have an end angle. And ladies and gentlemen, this might be the fastest game on
Yep.
stream today. Can they do it? A wave is marching mid and top. They got to clear this one first, though, waiting for that engage, and then they pull the trigger.
Oh my gosh, the trigger is up as Replic still goes on to the backside. Kill me. Five, that's their name. And now the side of Colombia, they're looking to end. They got the mini waves. AJ locking in the base. Dalikaeko gets taken down, but it's inevitable. It's going to be Colombia closing this out with a dominant fashion, 2-0 up against the side of Cuba.
Boys and girls, it is official. Colombia will take this series in a 2-0 fashion. And what a way to win it. Wow. It was under 10 minutes, right?
Yeah,
Technically,
under 10
if you,
minutes.
and the first game, Kimberly Mas, was 10 minutes and 26 seconds. So both games finished under 20 minutes. That speaks volume. That's a lot of domination coming from the side of Dominican Republic.
Yeah, I think when you're this far ahead also into the matchup, right? Like you'd be very confident to do all of these dives. I think it reached the 10K goal lead. I think it's still possible to get the comeback, right? If they do get the shutdowns, but there were absolutely no shutdowns, right? In this entire game, the most kills that we've seen and the shortest one that we've seen so far on stream.
Yeah, you're right. And this was just the nail in the coffin there with two members, important one taken down. It's just an open base. And this was the final
And it was
push, the
just
final attempt. GG, well played. Colombia, well deserved win.
yeah, man. I mean, just when we thought that, we just got to see them, they just appeared on stream, and now they just close it in such a dominant fashion, 2-0. But like we said, you can get both sides of the coin in these qualifiers. You got an almost reverse sweep, and then now you got a super fast 2-0 between Colombia and Cuba. GG WP to all of the teams here for today. Gani, you've been with us since the start of this day up until the end. You've been casting great MLBB. I guess, any final thoughts with what you've seen so far with the American qualifiers today?
A lot of surprises indeed. It's just the picks, the gameplay, a lot. I feel like Kimberly Maz, especially with the new picks like the Minsitar, the Hanabi, it's so refreshing. I think that's the word. It's just so refreshing to see non-template picks and bans, and I'm all for it. What about you? Final thoughts, Kimberly Maz. Seeing the two matches, technically two and a half.
I mean, come on, that was an all-out brawl. I mean, for PvP, you're gonna be having to. I was like catching up straight, like all of the action there was non-stop, and I think it just goes to show how far MLBB has evolved all across the globe. And honestly, I'm happy with how fast the rest of the world has caught up with the meta, with the game. So keep on going for everybody who's watching the stream. If you guys aspire to be on the same stage as this, just keep on going. And I think, you wouldn't be surprised if you see a whole lot more Angelas just keeping on the ban list for now. It's the new Florine in the ranked games. But overall, I'm just happy to see, a whole lot more supports and a lot of the heavy priors on the roamer this time.
Definitely, and yeah, spam it on your ranked games if it's open, guys. 80% win rate, maybe, surely, if you play the Angela and you have a proper team. But hey, what a win! All right, 9 minutes and 31 seconds
Yeah,
for
wow.
Colombia to just close the series out, and yeah, they won all three lanes. They won in the jungle. They won all the fights. Beautiful, beautiful. It's technically a perfect game for Colombia.
Yeah. Even I think their first matchup, if you actually check the stats, it's pretty similar. This is a very fast. I think it's very classic Bless out of three. Like once you get the very strong momentum up against your opponents, you definitely know what to put out, what kind of heroes to field out up against their team. I think for Cuba, GGWP, definitely not the end of the road. Definitely there's a whole lot more to come. So hopefully to see you guys more in the future. So GGWP, of course, to all of the teams that made it this far. It's still, a big feat for everybody. And, it's so nice to see again, all these teams that have adapted, and hopefully to see you guys more in the future. It's very straightforward. I think in our last matchup, there's really nothing much to say, but it's a very dominant match here by Colombia.
Yeah, dominant, very sharp as well, and I am excited to see, who will take it all later on as well. And man, I technically saw all the matches here on
Yeah.
stream, so I think it's other than refreshing, of course, for some parts, but I think the scene MLBB in America, in Latin America specifically, it's growing. Kimberly Moss, I
Yeah.
think they are starting to understand MLBB more.
Yeah.
The picks, the heroes, the gameplay, and I again want to see them improve. Maybe representing, uh, for their world stage. I think that's the dream. That's their goal.
Yeah. For sure everybody can reach it. For Gani and I, it has been such a pleasure on behalf of the rest of the production team. Sure, and the rest of the gang, thank you so much for joining us once again. Wherever you guys are from, good morning, good afternoon, and good night, wherever you guys are watching this from. But thank you so much for joining us. This has been Kim and Gani, and this is the World Esports IESF American Qualifiers. Hope to see you guys and see you guys in the Land of Dawn for the next time. But for now, we're going to bid you guys goodbye and see you guys in the next one.